Hello and welcome. Welcome to Drakenmemoria. Yay! What is Drakenmemoria, you may ask? Well, it's Dungeons and Dragons. Or mostly a group of people playing Dungeons and Dragons. So if this is not something you want to watch, well, go do something else. It's as simple as that. But if you actually want to watch us, well, welcome among us. It's a pleasure to have you with us. Hopefully you will have as good of a time as I hope we will have tonight. Yeah, that's about it. That's everything I can say about this. So I don't know why it feels hard talking today. In general, not with words. So thank you for being here. Hope you'll have a pleasant evening. If you're new, welcome. If you're not new, welcome back. For publicity's sake, if you like the thunderstorm in the background, it's ambient mixer. If you like the world map, it's WonderDraft. If you like the battle map, it's Dungeon Alchemist. Information for all of those things is below the window, so you can visit their website, the app, buy it, do your own stuff with it. It's amazing. It's wonderful. Oh, why not say it in the beginning? Instead, we forget about this at the end. You know, you can follow us if you like. It really is pleasant to know that you actually want to be here, that you enjoy this. And while you're at it, why not subscribe? It helps me. It helps all of us morally. No, it's fun to know that you actually are enjoying this enough to subscribe. That's it.
True.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Oh.
All right. Well, that's interesting. I've said that first. Why not say the whole thing before we start? Why not? Why not? Come on. We'll have the ending credit before as we start. You know, remember, you can leave a like, a comment on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. You can make a donation. You can become a Patreon, and you can subscribe on Twitch. That's all of your options. I wish there were more, but I don't have any. That's right. I did say that I was working on Discord. Well, that's gonna be. Oh, damn! I'm gonna have to add this to the screen at the end. Oh, okay. Well, it would be good when it's finished. So I'll change it again. Oh, all right. Well then. I think that's everything we need to say. Anyone else want to say something? Something unexpected? Someone want to show us an unwilling sponsor? No one's eating today. Come on, man.
Yeah, wild.
I already ate.
Already ate.
Ah, jeez. No one's eating. It's Dungeons and Dragons. You have to eat. All right. Well, you just like my first group. They always waited at the break to give everyone something to eat, and then they ate it all before the breaks end.
This is Magenta. She's
Less distractions.
our unwilling sponsor.
Oh, a dog has an unwilling sponsor. All right, all right.
Mm-hmm.
I dig it. I dig it. That's cool. It's fun.
All right.
Well, dogs are great. You know, they're always happy that we're here. They don't know it, that we're happy. And they don't know exactly what they're doing that's making us happy. But they're happy to be happy. That we're happy. Yeah, that's dogs. Contrary to cat, who just don't care about us.
Yep.
You call a cat and he recognizes name. He just chooses not to do something with it. You call a dog and god damn it, you just made his day. Alright, I think it shows that I'm more of a dog person. But everything I just said is true. That doesn't mean it's not true. I swear. Alright. What happened last episode? And hopefully, Remy will be here before it's too late. I mean, unless he fell asleep in front of his computer. That would be awkward. Alright, well, hopefully he will wake up. So, last episode, what happened? Well, the party went on a search for... Oh! Okay. Bit scared about something? Alright, so, what was I saying? You distracted me! The party went on a search for the missing cultist, hoping to find it still alive so it could be interrogated. Magic was used and a possible location was found. During this search for someone lost in a dark place, questions were asked between our heroes and a decision was made to go adventuring into the dark place of one party member for clues on the current unfolding event. That dark place being their memory of traumatic past event. Wow, you didn't do a whole lot last episode.
There's a lot of thinking.
Really? I mostly remember the
A lot of
10-minute
thinking.
break with ass and fart and dark places joke.
Well, we went through a lot of different ideas and then tried to execute said ideas and then had to change ideas. So, yeah, brain power was used.
Okay, that's
I
what...
wasn't there. I wasn't there. It wasn't my fault.
We had it under control.
And there you go. Audience laughed until the brain power died, and we talked about ass joke. That's so weird saying this. All right. Well, since we're missing the person we're supposed to be excavating his memories, apparently we're going to be doing Jorg instead.
Yeah,
I guess so.
show must go on.
Oh, wow. All right, well. So, where did we leave off? Everyone was in... Oh, yeah, audience was just waking up from having been knocked out by a projectile sent by Renam. It was an amazing show to watch. Honestly, audience, the problem is that you probably felt like you were doing the most incredible thing. You ask, I'm saying all of this because usually if you harass a player, he thinks that you just want to make sure that he failed, but now it's, he wasn't there, so he failed. So now I get to tell you all how he failed. Yeah. It was amazing, you were on the boat, and then suddenly you turn around and you saw this projectile arriving in the background, and you go, oh wow, come on, this one's not even gonna surprise me. You turned around, you told Remy to just remember this, it's gonna be awesome. You looked at the projectile, you took your sword out, you ripped your shirt. You saw it arriving, and then you swung at it, and you hit it. It just split into two. Amazing. It fell into two different locations. And that's where the Remy's feed end. So when you wake up and you what happened? This is what Remy shows you. But then suddenly Fisher looks at you and Remy, you're not being honest. And then Fisher takes out the orb that he took to film this event because there was more. The moment that you struck the ball and it fell into two places, there was this odd thing. You know, this odd high-pitched sound. It felt like something was screaming. And then suddenly you turn around and you saw this wave of little balls, just like golf ball. These just a hailstone of little projectile that arrived. You tried and hit them all, and they were just too small. And bam, bam, bam. Audience fell to the ground. One of them hit you right between the eyes. It's amazing. So accurate. And then Fisher, you took the one that struck audience and you look at it. And you showed it to the camera. And it said, so disappointing on it.
Damn.
And that's where Fisher's camera feed ends. Well, I was hoping that Remy would be here by then, but alright, let's go. Let's continue with everyone else. What is he doing? I'm gonna try and call him one last thing. Alright.
Get hit by a car. That's horrible. I didn't mean to laugh. Ooh. So anyways, what's the problem with airplane? No, sorry.
Alright. So, now you know what happened. You spent a little bit of time unconscious. When you wake up, you still have this little where it's just this little spot where it's a bit tender right between your eyes. I mean, damn. Either it got a natural 20 or you got a natural 1. But it's almost night. The light is disappearing outside. Remy took out his lantern, so you have you have a little bit of light as Fisher is preparing. Who has Rory's telepathic bond? Is it Remy or is it you, Fisher?
It's Remy.
It's Remy. All right.
Yeah.
Well,
I can't.
he prepares it. While you take a moment, center yourself, try thinking about how are you going to orient this. Dive into memories. Well, also, I guess an interesting question would be, how many people do you want to be there looking at Jorg's memory? I mean, it is a little bit private. You need to have at least one person because Terry won't understand what he sees. And you gotta have someone on the outside asking the questions. But technically, you could tie in everyone if you wanted to.
I think that would probably be best to make sure we don't miss anything.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's up to Jorg.
Well, he's got a point, Jorg, and technically Remy, if he's tied into this, can absolutely record everything and know everything there is to know about your past. The good and the bad.
Mm-hmm.
And the awkward.
Wait, we're going into my memory?
Well, Remy's not there.
Here,
So.
Oh, I see.
I
thought we were doing my
first.
go through the wall thing.
No. Because Fisher had asked, I think, both of you, Jorg and Remy, because he was wondering if there was any tie to any of you with the hunter cult. But Remy was the first one who said something, so we were going to go with him first, and we prepared for that, but he's not there, and we don't know why.
Mm-hmm.
So, your plan B, I think.
All right.
Unless you absolutely
Figure out
want to
what
go
my
with...
connection to the hunter cult.
Unless you absolutely want to go with Remy first, in that case, well, it'll wait until he comes back.
No, I mean we can go into my memory. I don't know what we're gonna find there. Oh,
Don't tell me Remy is right next to you.
yeah, he's just singing.
Oh, damn.
This is yeah. I'm in the living room because
It's okay.
I don't have an office right now.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I'm just teasing. All right, well, it's entirely up to you. So we can absolutely go with Remy and just wait and, well, skip to the good part. Or we can do Jorg right before he does this very stressful thing of flying through a mountain in the morning. So, you know, it's always good to traumatize him right before doing something slightly anxiety-inducing. Trauma and anxiety, they always do well together. It's wonderful.
Is it?
Of course it is.
I mean, yeah, I'm okay. You guys can go into my brain. Yeah.
Alright. Where? I guess. Is there anywhere you can think of that we should start? Or we get into
I
it?
guess we could see. I don't even know. I haven't thought about my connection with the Hunter cult that much. Not in the. Cause yeah,
I guess
so we're theorizing that everyone in the garden has a connection. Is that what we're saying?
No, that you
we're
all.
theorizing that all of us have a connection.
Oh, all of us haven't. Mm-hmm. I can't remember what we talked about last week.
I
mean,
it's kind of around the plant that you
the
brought
plant
over,
that, yes.
and there was a guild that had a monopoly on it, and that's what you were trying to disrupt. And we thought they might.
We could go back to that guild and see
connection.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we can interrogate those memories.
All right.
Of the crops and the guild.
All right. So you let Terry out. Terry takes a little bit of time. Bobby's in right, Bobby's in left. Goes in front of you, Jorg, and you see a bunch of stars appearing. You don't know what he's saying because you didn't take time studying his language, but Fisher does. And he's asking Jorg to bend over. He needs to look at his head properly.
Oh, I was turning around to get ready to bend over the other one.
That's what we're doing to the mountain, not. He needs to look at the top of your head.
All right, I'll bend over for him.
Okay. Takes a moment. He looks at you. He touches your head.
Oh, he did. Wait, we switch.
Oh.
I mean, we can still. Lifesaver.
If we're gonna get to it.
Yeah, no, you guys can go in. We can still do it in my brain if you want.
Especially since
Okay.
Zach seems to still be having trouble.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Zachary, you're connected? No, you're not connected to Skype anymore. So no, he's disconnected. All right. Well, we know
no.
he's trying,
Probably
so that's
having
always
trouble.
something.
Mhm.
Well, sorry, Jorg. Apparently, it's gonna be you
Guess we're going in. Yeah.
He looks
I
at
can handle
you,
it.
takes a little bit of time. You feel something gently taking your head and, tilt it a little bit to the right, a little bit to the left. It feels like this gentle force. Feels a bit similar to what Remy often does with his magic hand. Then, for a brief moment, you feel your head turning around, and it looks like he wants you to look to the side completely. Then he takes a
Look to the
moment,
side.
he completely twists your head so that your ear is right in front of him, and he looks at your ear very carefully. He goes really close, and you can feel you can feel his head pressing on the inside of your ear for a brief moment. You feel something opening. You see it on the outside. He's opening his mouth in front of George's ear. He slides back. What? Who are we hearing? Oh, okay, we're hearing Jorg home. Okay.
Sorry.
No, it's just confusing because I see the Skype logo moving for Zachary, but we don't have an image, so I'm not sure if we actually have.
Can you hear me right now?
I can hear you. I just
Hey.
can't see you.
Okay, I turned the video off because I have to connect on my phone, and
Okay.
I'm not going to be able to angle while also managing the other stuff. It's
Okay, so it's just audio for the episode.
yes.
Okay, I'm gonna turn on your. Okay, here it is. Why is it?
Like-
Oh.
Making a long story short, it's I accidentally left the microphone I normally use back at the school I took it in because there was an e-learning day. It's however, I accidentally left it at the school when I was packing up all my things. And I haven't figured out why my microphone isn't working specifically with my computer, but then it works fine with my phone and other stuff.
Okay.
So I still haven't figured a workaround for that. So for now, that's why you're getting this instead of the normal setup.
That's okay. We have audio. We can do something with this. So, Jorg, are you feeling relieved because we can go into Remy's head, or do you want to go? Do you want to keep diving in? Because apparently Remy seems to be worried that maybe it's going to go weird for you. So maybe he wants to go first again. So, Jorg.
Oh, and I want to think about that
I
that
was
particular
muted.
clip from Pee Wee Herman. Look inside my brain.
We can go into Raimi's head first since we were gonna do that last episode.
And it's going to give you more time to think about what's going to happen when you go into yours.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So apparently, Terry looks at you, Fisher, and just says, "I think he's very nervous. I feel
Yeah.
humidity in his ear."
Oh, okay.
Is it normal for them to sweat in their ears?
I honestly, I don't know. That's
Okay. So
I don't have the so.
Well,
And
Fisher.
I don't sweat either.
No. Well, that's why I made him ask you first. Because Fisher and Remy are the only two that can actually understand him. Unless Tobiyashi puts on his mask, then he'll be able to understand Terry.
Nah.
It's better to just see what's going to happen. All right, so as we talked about last episode, Remy, you cast Rory's telepathic bond, so Fisher is connected to Terry. But Fisher suggested that you all go inside, so you can all witness your painful memory. I mean, things that could help you all understand what's happening. Are you in agreement with that?
Well, Raby has consented.
Okay. So, all right. Terry does the same thing. He asks you to bend over so he can look at your head. You gently turn it sideways on each side, and then a little bit to the side, and he looks inside of your ear. Looks at you, Fisher, while he's doing this. His ears are different.
What? What do you mean?
For a brief moment, Remy, you can't see Terry because he's right next to your ear. It feels like he's putting his mouth around your ear. Well, at least he's not sucking in your ear. He just seems to be putting his mouth around your ear hole. But apparently he says after that you seem to be ready. All right. So you cast your spell and engulf everyone into this memory dive. So, who wants to guide this dive into Remy's memory? Unless you want to guide it yourself as best you can. Remy.
Like everybody just like hops in a submarine and goes dive, dive, awoog, awoog.
So the spell links you all, and suddenly you all feel this little brief moment of... Sam, I don't know if you were talking to us, but if you were muted.
No, I was calling something to my parents.
Okay, that's good. So there's a brief moment where it feels slightly strange because you get this maybe like when you go on the internet and the program just purges its memory. You get this jumble of image and sound, and then everything goes quiet as you have this all together, this moment of, oh, that's so weird. Wait a minute, am I thinking this or is he thinking this? And you're all looking at one another. Oh. Then Terry joins in, and suddenly you feel this presence. Oh, Terry has a much more powerful psychic presence than all of you. Sends shivers through the body of those who can have shivers. All right. You feel Terry's thoughts, and you feel ready. You feel it is time to ask the first question. So that's Terry telling this collective, ask the first question so we can start to dive.
What did Remy look like as a baby? No, sorry.
Did you say this out loud? Well, in your mind out loud?
I would think it
All right.
really quick.
So Remy, you have that question that pops into your mind. Since it is detect thoughts, what is the first thing that pops up into your mind when you hear that?
Yeah, like again, I feel like that would just immediately take him to the first time he ever saw his reflection.
All right.
because that's the closest you could ever get to knowing what he looked like as a young one.
All right. Can you describe this memory as Remy is seeing it right now? Because everyone's gonna see it.
Uh,
I
I think
Yeah. Go ahead.
if I had to imagine, it probably would have been uh yeah, I imagine like his first reflection probably would have been in a small puddle, like mind you, like kind of like lit by like brief torchlight.
Okay.
But I like maybe there was like a rainstorm at some point, or it's just uh like leaking from somewhere, but like a puddle of water had dripped onto the ground, and as Rainey looked down into it, it's like you would see like a much younger, but also like maybe dirtier and scruffier looking Rainy. Like maybe the feathers hadn't quite developed like they should. Definitely not very shiny, considering probably not getting enough nutrition for them to form more smoothly. Uh, and definitely not wearing the coat that you guys are normally accustomed to. It's like a very much like a uh, bare minimum, I guess is the best way I could put it. It's like something like maybe perhaps like made of burlap.
Okay,
Um,
okay.
Covering the essential
like
bits and just to make sure that you're warm.
I mean, he's no use if he's dead,
Bro.
So
arguably.
yeah. No,
Uh,
okay. I can easily complete that image. The room that you see around yourself, it is indeed where you slept. There was a very heavy storm the night before. Your memory still lingers on that because there was thunder and lightning, and although you prefer light, it was one of the few examples where you were so disoriented about what was happening that you actually got scared, especially because the sound always came before the light. So although you liked the flash of light because they suddenly illuminated the room, there was always this loud a few moments after. So there was, oh, light! Oh no, not again! That came right after it. So that moment, that weird contrast of enjoyment and fear was still lingering inside of your mind. Um,
now,
yeah,
now that I'm thinking about it, it was probably a smaller room too. So like the sound inside that room probably sounded worse than it normally would in like a bit of a larger room with like more soft padding.
yeah,
Um,
absolutely. The echo was absolutely horrible. And there was a part of your room that was made out of wood and connected to the outside. The window was too high for you to reach it. But because of that, you also weren't able to close it. And throughout the night, water kept pouring inside, and it pooled in a little depression at the bottom on the floor, which is partially half of it is the stone of the cavern, and the other half of it is wood that was completing your room. So there was this puddle of water that appeared on top of the stone element of your room, and the torchlight coming from outside, from the door that led outside of your room. You slightly opened it to let a little bit more light come in, and for the first time, looking down from where you slept, you saw this puddle of water, and you saw yourself. So this is the images and a few moments that comes up into Remy's mind when Tobiashi, you instinctively ask this question: what did you look like when you were alive? Ooh. Everyone can hear me.
Oops.
Immediately, you sort of have this feeling of, oh wow, that was a room? That feels like the beginning of a horror play. Usually you hear someone screaming outside of the room, and that's when you realize there's a mass murderer inside of the place.
With a large pair of oversized scissors chase you through the town. Horrifying.
All right. The room is completely barren of anything that would help to create an identity. It's really just this. You want to say a cot for Remy, but it's not even that. You feel like half of what is inside of that makeshift bed is the feathers and oh damn, I forgot the name. The hairs that small bird have before the feather form. Duft, the felt, then
Down?
down.
No.
It's down yet. No, is it not down?
No,
Well, I think it works.
That's not the.
Isn't it? Isn't it very, very unformed feather?
Down is the really fluffy feathers.
Oh, okay. No, so it's right before that then. I don't know. In French, it's duvet, but you know, I I can't remember it in English, and apparently 5 other people can't, so I don't feel that bad. So, but most of the soft element of the bed is that it's Remy's own feathers and fur from before his feathers started appearing. And looking at the reflection, you sort of get the feeling that, okay, it's still not completely out. So, the most comforting thing Remy had when he started his life was his own feather and fur.
Okay, it is called down. They just call it natal down.
Oh, okay. Natal down. All right.
So it is the down before you actually get the down.
Okay.
Down before you get down.
Bow, 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 bow.
It's the.
Anyway, sorry, continue.
No, that's okay. That's okay. All right. Anyone else wants to ask another question? Push this in a direction?
Now that Toby's got his curiosity out of the way.
Oh yeah.
I guess maybe any time Remy has ever seen the emblem of the hunter cult. Try and go before he got to the garden.
So clearly of that would probably be Remy when you arrived in this island chain and the city of Soutien, if I remember correctly. They had people trying to recruit others, priests really trying to recruit others in that city. That's probably when the first time that you saw the standard of the hunter cult as it is now. But you've seen a lot of emblems throughout your life because of all the time you spent in guilds and not guilds, guilds, selling things to different guilds, Why do I keep saying guilds? To different guilds.
Like shoved into a shark's gills.
So there could have been a large amount of time where you saw an emblem that was wolf-like. So I'm gonna let you decide if you ever saw a guild emblem that was wolf-like during your life.
Um, I would at least imagine that even if it wasn't like the hunter cult, like I feel like the emblem of a wolf would be at least like some like groups like like go to for like something that like represents like a ferocious animal, but then like also like represents like their ability, like maybe like uh a oh what would it be called? Like maybe kind of like a seekers kind of like a guild or group where like their whole shtick is that they find things for people. Um so yeah, that combination of like a ferocious animal, but then like also like a
Oh,
good at
damn.
hunting things out.
Okay.
Maybe not a hunter cult, but maybe a
No.
hunter guild.
Yeah. No. Oh god. Okay. That memory brings you back in your past. It is an ominous memory for you, Remy, because of everything that was said around this moment. There's this image that comes to your mind. Um, because you were dealing with a guild that wanted to have a very specific animal that is hard to find in your previous island chain. So you hunted it down and you were bringing it to them. Honestly, it looks like a bit like a displacer beast, but this one lives outside in the open. Its fur is more of a gray-white sort of color, and it has a third eye. So it was sort of a weird animal, and you were dealing this animal to this group of people. The emblem that you see is of a wolf, but its head is turned facing forward, so as if the wolf was looking at you personally. But it is also a moment where your attention is being drawn to something to the side, a small tent in this very shady looking place, this underbelly of a major city of your previous island chain. And you hear someone talking to you, one of the smaller member of your guild, saying, "Yeah, Remy, I really don't think you should ever go inside a tent like this, and I guarantee it you'll find one in every big city that you will ever see that has an underbelly. That that's called an information exchanger. It's everywhere, and you can ask it whatever question you want, and it'll always ask for the price. Knowledge. You can't bribe it. You can't give it anything else that it wants. It exchanged knowledge for knowledge, and it has no allegiance. So whatever you tell him, if it's precious, he'll give you knowledge of equal value, but anyone can buy this knowledge from him. So be careful about this." And that feeling when you were looking inside of that tent, the opening of the tent, nowadays, you're more used to feeling that, like you're looking inside of a different reality. But back then, it was just this empty, cold feeling that, oh. Nasty place.
So just because I heard you correctly, you said a tent?
Yeah, it's a black tent that you can't see inside. There's an opening allowing you to go inside, just like a small parlor. But it's completely black, and you can go inside. Try and imagine every single occult representation of someone trying to divine something for you. Every Esmeralda,
Kind of like a fortune
or
teller's tent or a
yeah,
Romani
fortune
tent,
teller tent,
stereotypically.
anything like this. Except this one is completely black, and when you look inside of the opening, you can't see a single inch inside of it. It is literally an opening to another plane of existence, a between plane of existence. So anything that has strong impact, strong feeling, will of course come up. So yeah, you saw this, but you remember this moment because of that tent.
Trying to imagine what it actually looks like on the inside, but can't.
Yeah. Well, at that time, you had absolutely no way to figure this out. But nowadays, the only image you have, because that's how you work, would be Ganbu. But of course, the interior of his tent is so much more colorful than anything else you've ever seen. But, there is an element of this that kind of feels like when you looked in his tent for the very first time, before your eyes adjusted to the light and you figured out that, oh shit, that's a huge treasure trove.
Makes sense.
But this is a small tent, and in your memory, he did say you will find one in every single major city that you find if there is an underbelly to it. The creature that lives inside has no allegiance. It is knowledge traded with knowledge.
Okay.
So you have that memory that came back up. There's a bunch of image that also just pours out of Remy's mind. Different moments where he saw a picture that felt similar. And none of them actually has this big of an imprint in his mind. You quickly see an image of something that is wolf shaped, but it only has one eye and it's a moon drawn. You see something that has the shape a bit of a dragon, but also wolf-like. It's sort of a mix between the two. There's definitely ears, the ears of a wolf, but the triangular shape of the head feels more like a dragon. That's a brief moment. Audience, in your mind personally, this image strikes your memory just like crystal glass. Because that image feels familiar. Not exactly it, but it looks a bit like the image you saw when you had to choose between 4 different gods. The one that was hidden in the abyss. The head feels slightly familiar in shape. Draconic, misty looking. If you take a moment and isolate this image in Remy's memory, the ears can look a bit like a wolf, except for yours it was much more defined as draconic. But other than that, there's similarity to it. and a whole bunch more wolf-related imagery comes out. One standard is the paw of a wolf, the other one a full wolf howling at the moon. It takes a bit of a moment, but Georgie, the memory comes up for you, and I've seen that flag before. That's what's the name of those druid? You can't remember what's the name of their order, but you know it's a druidic order. And when you think about it, it sort of makes sense. Remy was poaching animal. If they start poaching too severely into one area, they're gonna have a bad encounter with druids. But that does tell you that Remy poached at least once in your island chain.
That's why you don't like him. No.
That's why you choose to be racist.
Yeah.
He's like, it's not a choice. It picked me. No.
Of course, there's also another image that comes up that sort of hits Fisher the wrong way. But you have a brief scent of sea air. For you, it's sort of, oh, that's familiar. And you, from the angle of Remy, looking outward toward a port. You don't recognize it, so it's not any port that you've ever been to. But you see in the distance a ship wearing the standard of the Predator. It's very far off. Remy is barely able to see the shape of the Predator, but he was definitely there at a port somewhere in his life when the boat was moving past it. But it's so far away. It's really because Remy is curious about things that he knows this, that he didn't have direct dealings with it.
He wasn't a level 11 at the time, so
Yeah.
His passive perception was not as high as it was back then. So, unless, Remy, you want to invent another one, I'm giving you place to invent one last one before I give someone else a chance to ask another question.
trying to think if there was like any other place where you would have like seen a wolf symbol.
Whatever you say, I can create something with it. Just let your imagination go.
Um, you know what? Maybe maybe for all I know, oh, here's a thought, like a performance troupe. It's called the Lone Wolves.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Remy was very fascinated by this moment, wasn't he? It's the first time that you were in a room looking at 6 burly men performing in front of you, 6 feet in front of you. Most of them barred, you think. Because, damn, they knew how to perform.
This is something that I want to know. Maybe it has a connection, but I want to know that symbol that I don't know if I've seen him actually put it down though. His the crow with the fuck, what is it? It's the symbol that he writes down in a couple of towns.
The 3-legged crow.
Yeah, the 3-legged crow.
All right. You hear Tobiashi's mind drifting toward the symbol of your guild. What memory comes up first?
Um, like I would imagine it would first mostly because it's kind of like an Inception kind of memory. Not Inception. I mean
Inception.
Okay.
as in the first memory he associates with it because it's like
He's infiltrating my mind.
um but since having been adopted by that group, they kind of similarly adopted that symbol as kind of like their mascot. So then showing off the symbol to them to him for the first time. Uh, and maybe actually his vision in this case is a little watery because he feels touched. Um, uh, but then as far as aside the symbol itself, the symbol is being shown to him by what appears to be a very uh like a I would probably use the term rugged, um rugged individual. um it has a bit of a scar over one of his eyes. It's and probably been since this is essentially playing like a movie, hearing a very familiar looking voice that you guys had probably heard a million times before. It's like, well, what do you think?
Okay.
So that's the leader of your group?
Yep.
The captain? All right.
Guys, we're supposed to be.
What? I don't
We're
know.
looking for something specific. We're not just rummaging around inside Revy's head.
Hey, I wanted to know.
Well, then ask.
It might have a connection. I did.
No, but him a different time.
Oh.
Because you start arguing inside of the telepathic bond, the memory was about to go to a different moment, but you all jumble up Remy's concentration, and
I was watching that.
The last thing you hear from that memory is, if I'm not mistaken, Remy, you also said you wanted him to have a French accent. So you hear this voice, but you don't get to see who's saying it, saying, see, Remy? I told you would get somewhere someday. But you don't get to see who it was.
I mean, it was something. It probably wasn't anything to do with the Hunter cult.
Okay, all right. Ask away then.
Then Draken sighs and puts away very important central plot.
Yeah.
Adamantly, completely missing something. All right. I guess what we were gonna look for. Didn't find anything about the symbols the Hunter cult.
You're all in there. You're all linked. If any of you
Yeah.
have any questions, you can all pitch in.
Oh.
You guys think about visitors, maybe, to when he was to the wizard.
All right.
Or do we want to go for? I feel like as soon as we start going into the work that he was transcribing, that's going to be a huge pile of stuff to sort through.
This might be.
How about, I guess, suspicious visitors that the wizard might have had? Well, that you were there for, or witnessed, or overheard.
So, Remy, with this question, I feel like there should be 5 dozens of people that actually appears in your mind, because that's probably describing most of the people that had dealings with your wizard. So
Yeah, so it's just like perhaps what ultimately winds up happening because Raimi can't really focus on a specific one. It's like maybe it starts with an image of a visitor, but then like their face quickly morphs into another one and another one and another one and another one. Then like a few blurry ones because they didn't actually get a good look at them.
So yeah, you get treated to a 5 dozens of images, and none of them lasts more than 1 second in your mind as it just goes to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next. You know, you see shady people buying scrolls, buying objects. You have a few moments where you see a person and the wizard. Well, you know, judging from his robe, he was probably the wizard in charge of Remy. This tall man, slender. At the time, Remy, you thought he was an elf, but a Deshari elf. But nowadays, knowing more, you sort of recognize that, yeah, now that you see the memory again, he was definitely half a dark elf. Probably more than 50%, you know, sort of like someone who had one parent that was a half elf and the other parent who was an elf, so 3/4 elf. You see this man in 5 or 6 image dealing with someone, a whole bunch of these shady deals. And of course, when 2 or 3 of those images with the wizard come in, you get mixed in a few images like this where you see him raising a hand on Remy because he made a mistake in one scroll and he couldn't use it. So you also get a few privileged moments of Remy's childhood, especially what happened when he made a mistake while transcribing a scroll. Then it goes back to a person trying to buy something, a person that came in to sell something. Is there any...
All right, we gotta kill this guy.
Well, it quickly becomes apparent that whomever this wizard was, he was treating Remy as little more than a slave. A slave that he didn't need to pay. Essentially, in the wizard mind, Remy was more than adequately paid by having the privilege of not sleeping outside, not starving, and having the right to keep on breathing.
Yes, paid in exposure. Or I guess lack of exposure, technically.
You even see one moment where Remy was seen by a customer that the wizard did not appreciate Remy having been seen by this customer, and he got a rather exaggerated consequence of having been seen. So you get all of these images piling up in your mind. It's a flood of emotion, of image, fear, satisfaction at one point because he managed to duplicate a very hard scroll of these odd and weird people. In some cases, the first time Remy has ever seen someone of this inclination. You see the first time Remy saw a dragonborn. You see the first time Remy saw a human. The first time he saw a gnome, an elf, a halfling, a thiefling. As a matter of fact, Remy saw a lot of tieflings in his life. There are quite a few images of tieflings mixed up in there.
All right.
Just
Do we know what the hunter call was up to? Oh,
just wondering, Remy, what stimuli would have created a greater impact in Remy's mind? Smell, sight, taste. Just figuring out if one of them might have left a greater impression on Remy.
I would say if Raimi was paying attention to anything in particular, it would have been probably any either, at least with sight in particular, it would have been like anything that was like especially colorful. And other than that, probably smells because normally, like he's used to like one particular set of smells. So if somebody brings in a smell that's unusual, or novel, like
Okay.
he would probably remember that more.
Okay. Um, One image lingers more than 1 or 2 seconds in Remy's mind. This tall man, very fair complexion, talking very elegantly. Um, and thinking about it, Remy, there's a brief moment where you're sort of looking at this memory of yours and say, "Oh, I remember it, but when was it?" Your perspective is so small, is so low so close to the ground. It was probably when you were very small, not even mature yet. This tall man, very fair complexion, flowing hair, very charismatic in the way that he speaks. But it's the smell that you remember. It's a smell of freshness. That it was the first time that you ever smelled that. You got to smell it later in your life. It's the smell of something that spends a lot of time flying. That smell of fresh air and wind and forests and very peculiar. Because you've never smelled it again on a person. You smelled it on a boat. You smelled it on your way to the Misty Isles when you went outside because the pilot of this ship flew so fast. But this person had such an odd smell that felt like flying. The conversation is a bit muffled. You think it's because he was talking in a language that you didn't understand at the time. It sounds a bit draconic. Audience, since Draconic is your native language, you sort of are kind of able to make out what he's saying. Sort of not because you literally understand what he's saying, but more because, yeah, okay, I think that sounds a bit like this, and that's probably that he was saying. The person is asking the wizard if he's satisfied with his purchase. There are a lot more that he can give him if he wants more.
MFer sold Raimi.
They can be so useful for copying things.
Oh.
You think that that's what he's saying. But for you, Remy, because at that time you didn't understand the language, the Draconic language, you sort of recognize the accent, but that's as far as you manage to recognize what this person is saying.
Mm-hmm.
For you, audience, however, elements of this, of air, of flying, of draconic, a very strong draconic accent. You want to say something, but I'm leaving it to audience to figure out if he wants to let that thought mix with everything. A dragon in disguise.
I think would be helpful right now to let that mix with everything. I don't know. I don't think I could not think about it. So if it would mix about something, audience doesn't really know how to not think about something. So if he's thinking about it, it's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, in that case, I'm going to say I'm leaving it to you to decide how much of it mixes in with all of this. If audience tries to push it away, then everyone is just going to feel that you are intrigued by this memory, but not more. But if you let even more sip through, it's even thoughts may be heard. I'm going to let you decide how much.
I wouldn't try and push it away.
Okay, in that case, what is everyone hearing as your own thoughts are dwelling on that?
Human has a really good draconic accent.
Nice jawline.
My thoughts would just be like, I wonder what the connection is to dragons, and then like thinking about the different dragons I know about, and this like thinking about both the holy dragon we know about and the potential dark dragon we know about, and wondering if there's any connection.
Bird women. Sorry.
Bird women. So you have this...
thinking about the big player dragons that are in this.
Okay. Well, then you have a bunch of... Coming from audience, you feel this little wave pushing toward all of you of, maybe a dragon was involved in this, because that doesn't feel like a normal human. And you get this brief moment of, what dragon can actually do this? The only dragons that can do this are gold and silver dragon, unless you're going with the greater dragons, the dark dragon or the holy dragon, or maybe a draconic avatar of a god. You have all of this flood of information that just pushes in, and out of nowhere you get the image of a bird woman. Then you all of your attention turns toward Tobiyashi.
Sorry.
Toby.
It's a hot bird woman, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a hot bird woman.
He is full like pansexual.
It's a
and
fan
I'm here
fiction
for
of the harpy.
But because it's in Rainey's mind space, it's like you suddenly hear veto.
Like it's like
Immediately
quickly
replace
there,
it
and
with
then
a picture of Ray.
everything sexual about it is like blurred out.
Thank you.
All right.
I got ice cream. Jorg is happy.
I think a simple. Well, I don't know if we want to move from this idea yet.
Well, I don't know. All of this information is just flooded everyone. So after you all mentally look at Tobiyashi with a disapproving thought, Remy, you can react to this new information. Everyone can. You're all hearing this at the same time. Or you can move on. So long as you don't ask...
I didn't get any actual information from my thoughts. We just...
Well, so long as you don't ask Terry to intentionally burrow into an image to try and get something that Remy might not willingly make come out, the spell can continue.
Well, this is what I want to know. Does the hunter call themselves the hunter cult, or is it?
I believe they do.
Do they actively call themselves the hunter cult?
Well, it's their popular name, and saying that this is what the population is calling
Well, like
them.
if they were talking to someone, would they be like, "Oh, the hunter cult wants you to do this," or "The hunter cult wants you to do that," or do they go by a different name
No, I think
that they would say?
goodness. They'd probably go with the name of their god, which I'm pretty sure I wrote it down.
Isn't it the beast or something like that?
It's been called many things, but Schult, Should.
Shunt.
That's the actual name of the god.
All right.
So they'd probably
see
refer
if-
to this. Schuld wants you
See
to.
if not including when he's with the party, if he's ever heard that name in a conversation between his master and somebody else, or involving that, and if
Or if really he's ever seen it before,
if he's ever seen it before,
or
before
while he was with his
before he met us,
master.
basically, while he was with his master. And then I have another one after this.
Remy, you would never have heard that name, that exact name. So nothing can voluntarily come up. However, you've seen so many wolf-like emblem that any memory that holds a wolf-like emblem could actually hide something behind it. That would be exactly why Terry is here. Because Remy would have to choose a memory, and Terry would burrow inside of it and try to push everything he can.
We know
out.
we've seen the actual symbol of the hunter cult, right?
You've seen several.
Okay, so we're gonna go to one of those actual symbols and then burrow deeper to see if it shows up in his memory somewhere else.
Well, I think it would be, we need the glimpse of a memory first, and then we would burrow deeper into that memory.
Mm-hmm.
But we can pull up the specific image of that and then see what that
Relates
isn't
to.
that what we looked at first? Was
Well, we didn't burrow into it. We just looked
No,
for the symbol, any
and we
symbol.
we
find it?
we were thinking just but if we can think how specific can we get? If we think specifically of that.
Yeah, that's what that was
symbol?
the first.
Oh,
That
I
was
think
the
what
first
he's
thing.
really
That was-
driving at,
we
though,
got all
is
as
that-
close as we could.
What I think he's really driving at is that Terry would be there to kind of probe at something that maybe is a part of Remy's memory, but for whatever reason, either because he wasn't paying too much attention to it, or maybe in the case of beatings, he repressed part of the memory,
Yeah.
and so won't actually think of it willingly.
All right, that brings me to my next one. Anything that his master thought was important about any spell that involves life force transferring, that he might have been working on, or that he had to copy down, or that was something really important to his master at that point. transfer life transference. Yeah, words.
Do that one.
Transferring. Draining.
Well, Remy has copied a huge amount of spells. So, of course, he would have copied.
But spells that involve that.
Of course, he would have copied scrolls that would help to drain, transfer, restore. Any scroll of resurrection, although he wouldn't have been able to empower it, he would have been able to just copy it. What's the name of the spell? Vampiric Touch. Well, I think that's a spell.
Vampiric Touch is a 3rd level spell.
Well, what I was meaning was like that was super important to his master, to the point to where when he got it wrong, or if he got it wrong, that he would have maybe gotten hurt for it. Since it was so important for some reason.
So I can easily imagine, Remy, that there were a few moments where you were stressed on how important that spell was, that you get it right. Wouldn't you agree?
Yep.
Right. So while you have two things, because you have two information that you're giving here, and both can give result. Remy has essentially been in contact with every single spell below level 5 spell that almost exists. So you get treated to a whole bunch of image of him perfecting his skill, rewriting it, retrying it. You get one while he's in his room trying to improve the calligraphy of his writing a specific spell, because he knew that tomorrow he would have to make 10 scrolls like this, and he wasn't going to be able to go to sleep or eat until he finished those 10 scrolls.
Are there any that did he ever work on anything higher than level 5?
Those memory.
Or did he ever see anything? Whether or not
Yes.
he might not have worked on it.
Yes. But when you go to spells that are higher than level 5, the memory becomes more sparse. It's one here. Remy remembers looking at the spell for resurrection. He remember seeing once an image, not the actual spell, an image of the spell wish. Sort of oh man, I could wish for anything I want with this. I want a big window.
A window that's big and also lower to the ground.
And it's always
Me
morning in
sized,
there.
so I can crawl. Maybe just a hole in the wall.
So, yeah, of course, there are a whole bunch of spells. Some of them devastatingly powerful, but these kind of spell he barely ever was allowed to write. They required so much, and he was one person involved in this. Although, Remy, there's a brief moment in one that you sort of have this, oh, I'd forgotten about that. And now you feel bad because now you remember, you understand what the entity that judged people going inside of the Misty Isle meant. There's this brief moment where you remember handing in a scroll to the wizard, and the corner of your eyes caught the sight of another Kenku. It was just 2 seconds. But it just fills your mind, that moment of, oh, there were more.
Like I would actually even imagine maybe like the imagery around the memory actually kind of like pulses a bit, kind of like as though like someone's heart just skipped a beat.
Yeah, like you were hearing your own heart in your ears when this moment happened. Of another one.
All right, that's got to be something. Go deeper.
Okay, well, I'm gonna finish saying what I was saying. Yeah, sure, it's possible to go deeper on this one. So, like, yeah, for superior spell, most of what Remy did wasn't very involved because he had limited abilities. He wasn't even level 1, and for most of everything that happened, so he could only just write things, write the elements themselves, and they were empowered after. And spells above level 5 become so complex and involved with other things. Remy's knowledge of them becomes much smaller. Resurrection, Wish, Crown of Stars, he saw it once. This is why he was slightly familiar with it when it was cast in front of him, when Kalina cast it. Teleportation Circle, he saw it once. Prismatic Wall, Remy saw that one.
Damn.
Never actually wrote it down, but he saw it, so he could probably just go. He's like a spy camera. You could probably just isolate this image in his mind, go to a wizard, and he'd probably after a while be able to decipher something out of it and create a scroll with that spell.
Actually, small tidbit.
Yep.
Like I never actually got to like cast it in like the length of this campaign because it didn't come up. But Raimi did know color spray for a little bit, so that very well could have been like his attempt at imitating what he thought maybe that spell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, there's this brief moment in his life where there was light coming from the window, and he took water inside of his hand, and he just blew on it really hard, so it vaporized, and you saw a little rainbow. That was in your mind. You sort of have that moment of color spray spell.
It's a good spell.
You even hear the, as if he was reading the description. Hold on. How would that look like? No, not 2L. So yeah, he does this, and you hear in his mind, color spray, illusion, 3-second casting, visual, somatic, material component. And then he does it again. And it repeats.
Did the Hunter cult have any like uniform? Did they wear like a specific uniform or anything, or were they kind of all over the place?
They could have a symbol on.
Yeah, they usually have a symbol somewhere.
It would just be the wolf symbol, not like.
But they seem to be fond of black cloaks. The idea of the hunter.
Classic.
Yeah.
Classic.
Mm-hmm.
But you saw them in many circumstances. When they're out in public, they don't wear ominous clothing. But when they are among themselves,
that would be convenient.
Yeah. You get all of these spells, but you also have moment of high stress because of how you formulated your question that comes up in Remy's mind. those moments usually aren't that nice. One of them feels completely odd because Remy, in his memory, was afraid because the wizard had just given him a stern beating because he got a spell wrong. But
What spell?
Remy was so confused at that moment because he didn't exactly know what was wrong with the spell that it doesn't resonate in his mind. All that's resonating in his mind right now, say, I'm doing good, I'm doing good, I'm doing good, I'm doing my best, I'm doing my best. And both of these moments are in different voices. Remy, you remember?
Maybe even if you like a sinister one's like, do your best.
Do your best.
Remy, when that memory comes back, you feel your heart increasing drastically because you remember that moment a few seconds ago. You literally were beaten with a stick by the wizard because he was so mad. And then that figure again. That person that smelled like wind entering the room and asking what's going on. The wizard answers that one of his Kenku got a spell wrong, and he points toward you, Remy. You remember that moment. You've never been so afraid because you thought, oh no, I'm gonna get beaten by two people, and this person, he's so tall and his shoulders are so wide, it's gonna hurt so much. And there was even a moment where you thought you were gonna pee in whatever pants you had at that moment. The man bent down and took you by the beak and looked in your eyes. He says, what happened when he did that wrong? And this is the first time that the wizard put into word something that you always knew but never actually understood before. Every time there is a man that comes in the room, he makes a mistake in the scrolls. We need to beat that out of him. You hear the man that smells like the wind saying, oh, really? Nah, I think he's good.
Could they?
Just make sure that he stays here as long as he doesn't understand. He's doing something wrong. But it's the way that he looks at you, Remy. As if he's not talking about the same thing as the wizard was talking about. It just hits your heart like a dagger went through it. That feeling that he's not talking about the same thing as the wizard. It always stayed in your mind. You're doing... Yeah?
Dying?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh.
We don't know the last thing you just said. Robot.
Oh, wow, yeah. 500 image were lost. What's the last thing you heard me saying?
He was gonna say the same thing as the wizard, and then he was about to say something, and you started cutting out.
Okay. It always stuck with you, and it didn't help you after, because the way he was saying it, it started pushed itself in your mind. There's something wrong with me, but it's not something you know. You'd forgotten about it. But that memory, that fear, so intense. And that thought of there is something wrong with you that you don't know what it is.
Like I feel like then like Raimi's head becomes apprehensive again. So like probably like a mix of other like similar feelings as though like there's something wrong with him, something that maybe he can't fix, something that maybe everyone else knows and he can't figure it out.
And with this memory, a whole bunch of time where someone looked at Remy and say, "What's wrong with you?" just floods this stream of thoughts that you're having. You get moments in the outside, in bars, in alleys, in the nature. This is sort of a moment where Remy, you realize that, oh wow, every time someone said this to me, there was a fraction of this that came up.
Well, it's someone else's turn.
Well, actually, it's the break's turn, but if you want to do one last thing, you still haven't pushed deep inside of the memory. The spell hasn't ended. Terry can still push.
Well, I said to dig deeper in the Kenku, like when he saw the Kenkus, to see if, just dig deeper into that memory.
Okay.
If there was how many Kenku that he had, and like, I don't know, where else the Kenku were that he's seen.
Okay.
Or if they came together.
So that's Tobiashi's thought. Terry wants to know if everyone is in agreement that this is where he should push deeper.
Is it... You only get to push deeper once per
time he casts Detect Thoughts.
Okay, per cast.
Yeah.
Up to everybody.
Well, to be more accurate, unless we're doing things differently because of the circumstances, but if Raimi successfully resists,
does it not work for 24 hours?
No, that just causes the spell to end.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then that would be the second question. Will Remy want to resist that, knowing that it was the whole purpose of this? But yes.
I would say maybe because of the preamble to like this particular moment, like now that he's like actually like super stressed, I think his defenses are down anyway.
Okay. So, is it what you want Terry to push into? Terry wants to be sure that everyone is in agreement with this, including Remy.
I mean, I feel like the other Kenku would be important to know, but I don't know if they would relate to the Hunter Cult at all.
Yeah.
Just kind
Although
of
they could with potential slaves and what's going on here and the taking of slaves potentially. That would not.
Like maybe he was part. Like we might go back to a part where they got captured by the Hunter Cult, and that's why they were sold by this one.
It could have been a connection to maybe what they're doing now with capturing people, but that would be the only connection I could see.
Okay, these are the things we could dig deeper on. We could dig deeper on the Kenku, which he pulls for. We could dig deeper on the guy that asked if his product is doing good, or we could dig deeper on his master in general.
I think we dig deeper on the guy who was talking about his product.
Okay.
Is Remy in agreement? You feel a genuine sense.
What do you guys think?
You feel a genuine sense of...
I think so.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Of care from Terry. Because although he doesn't understand the image, he understands your feelings. So Terry also wants to know if Remy is ready and willing to dig deeper on this.
I feel. In fact, that probably even coming into his mind, like this feels like something Raimi feels like he needs to know.
All right.
Okay. Well, if Remy needs to know, then we definitely should go into it.
All right. So, which one of the three you wanted to dig in?
I assume the Kenku one was the one you want to know.
The Kenku. All right. It's an odd feeling when Terry starts pushing into that memory. It feels like he's burrowing in. That it's a very, very odd sensation for you, Remy, because you've never had it. This feeling of something entering your mind and pushing inside. You sort of have this thought that says, is this how the earth feels when an earthworm moves through it? It's so weird. It's like shitting, but in reverse.
Well, there's another feeling that's been compared to like a reverse shitting, but we won't get into that.
Yeah, this one is not pleasant. The other one you're talking about, I think, is at least a little pleasant.
Depends on if you're into it. But anyway.
All right. All right. So burrowing into you in a way that usually doesn't allow it. So it's odd. It all happens in your mind, in your brain. Ugh. You start feeling things that you had completely forgotten about, conversations that were completely lost in the fog of your mind, that you didn't want to remember, that you didn't want to hear. They just surface up, and Terry suddenly say, well, you feel from Terry, something is shining in there. I think I have it. And he grabs it and pulls it out. You didn't remember this, Remy. But the memory unfolds, and once again you are in a room. You're so small. Everyone looks like giants. It feel like it was probably from the very first few moments of your conscious life. Everything is blurry because your eyes haven't completely matured yet. It's difficult seeing things. Initially, the memory plays and it's all blurry. The sound, the image, the smell. But Terry pushes even further and everything becomes more clear and you hear voices and you start seeing things. There's your master who's there and he's accepting a box. A large box. And you see a few eggs, few part of eggs sticking out from the top of the box. And you see someone in front of him saying, well, those are all I could find. I will probably be able to find more. And of course, they will be at the same price as these ones. I hope the previous batch was satisfactory. Did they all hatch as they should have? You hear the wizard say, oh, some of them didn't. They're probably bad eggs. No, you just need to wait a little bit. They'll be there, don't worry. Why are you giving me all of these eggs for so cheap? Let's just say that someone came into possession of a large quantity of eggs, and instead of making omelets, he decided that they could have a better use, especially those with the orange dot on the shell. Oh, well, whatever. They're your eggs. I can probably do whatever I can with them. You say they're good at copying things, right? Yes, absolutely. Now then, I will leave you your things, and we will see one another again. Each other again. In a few weeks. Your master turns around, and you see who he was talking to. That tall person that smelled like air. He is the one that sold all of you to the wizard. When he turns around, you see on the back of his cloak the emblem of the hunter cult.
Okay.
Remy's a member of the Hunter Cult.
No, he was sold by a member. That's not.
Well, this is a member that I've never seen before.
Actually, you know what? That
so-
is what Jorg would figure out from it.
Yeah.
And as everybody in the mental link kind of like mentally stares at Jorg, I think that is when we go on break.
Yes, we can go on break. Alright. Let's go on the break.
It's not a member I've never seen.
That sounds like exactly the kind of thing that a comedic relief character, like in the middle of an episode, would say just before the ad break.
Alright, see you in 15 minutes. Bye.
15.
And we're back. Oh, you know, we got 3 out of 5. That's not so bad.
Two of them were just so dumbstruck by
by
Jorg's comment that they just didn't know how to respond.
Remy lost concentration on the Rory's telepathic bomb, and it just dissolved. You all come back, and you notice that everyone's looking at you. Oh, damn it! What did I say?
This time.
All right, so, well, damn. We got a message from Covered Psyops? It's a long comment. I feel like I've seen this in a song. But not about this. About some...
Not the KSI song.
Alright. So... I was really hoping for more people to come back. Well, you know, Fisher might be to the end toilet, but audience, come on, audience.
Like again, Fisher heard it. Error 404.
Exactly. It's his version of a blue screen. He's got a large S on it. Hey, hello. We're back inside. We were saying how dumbstruck you were from Jorg's comment. That's why you weren't there.
Fair enough.
You might be correct. Oh, no, never mind.
Nice, we got everyone. All right. I'll adjust Sam's camera just a little bit because, you know, it's always weird. Oh, okay, it's better now. That's okay. No, it's yes, okay. It's just unstable. That's all right. We're gonna leave it like this. If it wants to play unstable, we can let it play unstable. All right. And so the information was drudged out of Remy's unconscious. And everyone just goes, oh, Wow, that must hurt learning this. And Jorg completes. Remy's part of the cult. And then you feel
Jorg.
everyone's attention
Jorg.
turning toward you, Jorg.
Even Terry's like, what?
Yeah, even him saying, that's
I
not
think I misread the situation.
even Terry's thinking, that's not the feelings I'm sensing.
Like, wait, new feeling, murderous intent.
All right, now do we exit?
Well,
Or do we need more,
the
guys?
spell detect thoughts ended, but the telepathic bond didn't. So you're still all linked together. Terry can just recast the spell and restart. How long the Rory's telepathic bond? How long does it last?
An hour.
An hour. I think we're gonna have to recast it because I think I talked for an hour.
So
everything ends all
now-
together. You all come out of this with this. Oh, that's so weird. Do you really think like that, Jorg?
Meanwhile, Jorg was not paying any attention, just like, oh. I thought
So
he
do
was
we
the one
sleep
in the
now?
robes.
Do we
The
sleep now and wait
egg.
for tomorrow so Jorg could do the plan, or do we?
Yeah, are we?
Well, it's entirely up to you. Right now, it just feels weird because you're all out of the memory and back into the real world, and all of the image that you saw simply fade, and you find yourself in a dark place, illuminated only by Remy's lantern. For some reason, Remy, now you find your lantern so comforting right now. So comforting. Bright light in the middle of the darkness. Oh.
Lightly passing his fingers over the gems on it. No. There's no lightly about it. He is nervously rubbing at the surface of those gems for comfort.
You know, you just see Remy grab the lantern and start hugging it like a support teddy bear, and then he's rubbing the gems on it. At the beginning, you sort of feel bad for him, and then it just starts feeling awkward the way he keeps stroking the gems. But you're back inside
You
of
had
this
a hard life.
damp place, this cave. Can't help but to feel like there's a metaphorical meaning to all of this. But you are all faced with new information and another decision. Do you want to just jump back in Remy's mind? Do you want to let him process that information? Do you want to go to Jorg? Do you want to sleep and wait until another day? Because Jorg, you just saw what's going to happen to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Remy. I definitely don't think we should jump back in Ramy's mind. He's had enough.
No.
Plus, I think we learned.
Yeah. I'll start making
Okay.
everyone's cot now.
Yeah, I know. We
I
learned
think
he's
we
the
need to
enemy,
sleep on
right,
that.
Jorg?
He's the...
Get
up! No.
Everyone, roll initiative.
As the telepathic bond finish, say you hear Remy's thoughts saying, we all get a turn with my dagger.
You gotta blow off some of that steam.
All right, that took a lot out of me. I'm going to sleep. I make my own little sleeping place with my silk.
Yeah. Yeah, and also, I didn't think about this one. Yeah, Tobiyashi, you just learned a whole bunch of things about your husband. Basically,
Yeah.
that he was beaten all of his childhood and treated as a slave and barely ate, and his biggest wish was to have a big window in his room.
I make like
I kind of
a.
already knew most of that. Or I guess I did. I don't know if anybody else did.
I make myself a bed out of 110 feet of silk.
Oh,
Um,
jeez.
It's warm. It's
Yeah.
warm.
It's the warmth of your soul.
Yeah.
All right. So Tobiashi makes a bed for himself.
And anyone who wants to join, it's big. I mean,
Ooh, an open invitation.
yeah. Cuddle pile, guys. Cuddle pile.
No, I'll summon Frel and curl up with him for warmth.
Good, because I don't think Raimi was going to be inclined to sleep in the same cuddle pile as George.
That's fair.
Come on, Remy. You need some comfort.
Raimi goes to the cuddle pile, summons his
When you
familiar, and adds another body.
Yeah, it's super warm. My silk is just naturally warm.
Well, the question is,
Are you?
will audience join the cuddle pile? You know, it would help Remy, but I'm not sure it's going to help audience.
I don't know.
Everyone wakes up tied up. No,
Yeah, are dragonborns warm-blooded?
Yes, of course.
Yes.
Okay.
They're dragons. They're
I
not
am
lizards.
the person if we're
Yeah.
ever stuck in the freezing cold and we're gonna like freeze to death, I am the person to lean against.
Yeah.
Oh, you're like extra warm-blooded.
Yeah.
Dragonborn
Alright.
don't
Well-
sweat, but they exhale heat by opening their mouth. So it can
Yeah.
actually feel pretty
I'd be like
warm
a
in
little
front of
bit like a
audience.
furnace.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And adding on top of that, like your larger mass compared to
Yeah.
other individuals, so that just
Yeah.
adds to the amount of heat management.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you would think that because they don't sweat, Dragonborn would have to rest very often, but it actually states in the player handbook that they can exhale an impressive amount of heat simply by opening their
Audience's mouth breather.
Yeah, essentially.
just warms up the whole cave by breathing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say being in a cave with him would be toasty.
Who needs a fire?
Well, he is a dragonborn which breathes lightning, so you might actually have that ozone smell that will mix with the air.
He's like snoring, and we're cooking hot dogs over it.
You just see the small arch of lightning.
Lightning cooked hot dogs, yes.
I want to have that fan drawing of someone with a sausage toasting it above audience's mouth while he's sleeping.
While he's not.
So
We sleep.
yeah.
And then the other version of that
Like a
image
cat.
goes to the 18+ art channel.
Where
That's for
someone is
Patreon members.
heating a sausage and all right. So
Patreons only.
well, yeah, YouTube's not gonna accept it, so we don't have a choice. So you all pile up. You have this new information. Remy, you feel the warmth of your friends. Well, except Fisher, because he's not warm. He's got the same temperature as a rock.
Yeah, I'm not piling up with everybody.
Okay. You're
Nobody wants
You're
that.
keeping watch.
Nobody wants that.
You're. For you, it's not morning wood; it's morning stone. So
He's just rock hard all the
And
time.
there's some wood too. Bit of both.
So Remy, you get to feel the warmth of Tobiashi, of audience, of your pet, of your familiar, and on top of that, you have Fisher watching over all of you as you sleep, and Jorg sleeping in a corner over there.
Where he belongs.
Where he belongs.
All right, so as you're going through the night, emotionally recovering, Fisher, I'm just curious. I don't mean to say that we need to act it out, but I'm curious about what goes through Fisher's mind while everyone is sleeping right now.
He's probably he didn't really see anything he didn't, other than like the fact that the Hunter cult is who sold Remy. He didn't really see anything that he wasn't like vaguely aware. That's kind of how it was for Remy.
But I kill him in sleep.
I think he's probably thinking more about questioning the dude tomorrow, because it's gonna be the first time he's ran into somebody from the Predator since he blew it up.
All right. And on top of that,
Is it right if I beat him up a little bit? No, sorry.
hey, he's gonna be your prisoner. You do what do you want with him. And on top of that, you sort of now have an idea of what you can do with Terry and this. You might be able to reproduce the same thing, provided that the guy doesn't succeed any saving throw anyway.
Yeah.
Because he's going to be resisting, of course.
Bane him.
And I think there's also a little bit of Fisher that's like wondering if that would work on him. Like if he could go into memories of like when he was
on the Predator.
Yeah, before he was fully sentient, or if that wouldn't really work or not. But
well, the only clue you'd have to this is, well, it's odd. Ever since you become sentient, you're prone to forgetting some things from time to time. It's. You don't know why. It's every 24 hours. There are some things that it feels like after 24 hours, a week goes by before you come back. It's so weird.
You just keep losing time.
It's super weird.
So yeah, it could probably drudge up things that you might not want to remember, or just like this memory that you were able to go inside. Remy was so young that he wasn't able to understand anything, but the images were there, and Terry was able to clarify them, made them understandable to everyone. So it's possible.
Basically, Terry just went like in a police procedural. Enhance the image. Enhance more. That's how this works.
But then, with everything you just saw, there is a chance that you will also get to remember things you would rather not remember. Like moments where your previous captain forced you to kill someone, to torture someone, to things like this. There is always that possibility.
Mm-hmm.
Even, as a matter of fact, Terranad would probably remind you that, I can see every memory that you want to remember. Do you really want to remember with clarity killing your old crew? Because you can't be sure of what's going to come up when someone asks a question. This might actually be a memory that Terry digs up.
Murder mode activated. His eyes turn red.
Well, his eyes already red.
A deeper red.
I think Fisher's initial reaction to that is that wasn't my fault. But then he immediately recognizes that's it feels like lying to himself when he says it.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I don't know. Maybe I don't want to look at it.
It's a way to get closure, but at great cost.
It would be really good to... It might be really helpful to, when we're dealing with questioning this guy. I think Fisher just spends the whole night trying to decide.
And I'm wondering, in the same train of thoughts, what audience thinks about before falling asleep. Although Fisher has the entire night, while audience only has maybe 10 minutes before he falls asleep, so... You saw a bunch of information about Remy and things you didn't know, and...
Audience would think that he knew Remy had a dark past, and he feels bad for, Remy's... Yeah, he's now he knows a little bit more about Remy. He's damn, he had it rough. And also, I wonder what that draconic figure was that he saw, because we didn't really figure it out. That would be the brief thoughts of the 10 minutes before he went to bed. Since I don't have a ton of time.
That draconic figure wasn't the same figure that sold Remy to him, was it?
Oh, yes.
It was. Oh, okay.
It was. And it was a draconic figure that had a hunter cult symbol, and that's why audience is huh.
Dang.
I wonder what that's up with about.
Wild, anyway.
Can we confirm that it was a dragon in disguise versus...
No, that's audience's theory according to what he knows.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the theory, but it is a possibility. It's not a...
Mm-hmm.
Basically riding on the idea that somebody with a thick draconic accent, it would be difficult to have individuals not of that persuasion have such an accent. So it probably seemed weird seeing it on a person or a humanoid or more, you know what I mean? Human individual.
Yeah.
For audience, it's probably even easier to tell than anyone else because it's his native language. That person was speaking Draconic as if it was its native language. So
yeah, I have a high suspicion it was a dragon.
Yeah.
High suspicion. It's not guaranteed, but I have a high suspicion.
Yeah.
It's a bit like if you are listening to a TV show that happens in Scotland, but then a true Scot watches that show and says, well, it's obvious it's not even a Scottish accent. But for the audience is the Scott person in this. But now, for all of you, it's draconic. All right. For audience, it's real draconic. It's born and raised in draconic.
Yeah.
In the mountains of my homeland, born and raised.
It's just like me when I hear someone speaking in French in an American movie. I immediately see it that it's not French. As a matter of fact, sometimes I don't know what language it is.
My weird relationship with Portuguese, that every time I hear it, I think I immediately think that it's French.
Okay. Interesting.
Well, I can't explain why, but it's just like it feels like whenever I'm hearing Portuguese, my brain like hears the accent, like a Portuguese accent, and like, why does this sound vaguely French, but I don't recognize any of the words.
Well, it's the same root language, but other than that. All right. So yeah, audience, I said 10 minutes. That was more including 10 minutes as in audience is not gonna take 5 hours to fall asleep. But if you want to say more, I don't want to.
That was fine. I don't think it was a ton of thoughts. That's like the main kind of.
Well, then in that case, why not finish with Tobiyashi? Just curious, what's going through Tobiyashi's mind as in the next 10 minutes that he takes to fall asleep?
Well, I think that is fucked up what he went through. And that I never saw him while I was getting tortured on the island, or at least I don't recognize him as one of the members that I know from the Hunter cult.
No.
And if they were planning, because there's a lot of kids at my monastery, and like younger people. So my thought is, are they trying to do the same thing? Like, were they trying to do the same thing with my monastery and just like take all the younger people and weak kids to like sell them or like use them in some kind of way? So
it's
definitely
a possibility.
And then we wake up. I'm under one of audience's. No, I'm kidding.
You wake up and there's audience's foot that's 5 inches away from your nose. How did he? Never mind.
At least it doesn't smell because he doesn't sweat.
Yeah.
It smells like reptile.
I mean, he also probably doesn't wash his feet though, so it probably at least smells earthy though.
I mean, it depends if we all bathed in the monastery or not. I don't know.
Well, you had access to bathing.
We could have, yeah.
But did you?
Yeah. Who knows?
Who knows?
Of course they had baths. The question is, did you?
Oh my god. It's the sauna episode.
Hell yeah.
So we covered the awkward talk episode. Now this is gonna be the sauna episode. What's missing? The singing episode?
There's the beach episode, the fair episode. We have a.
We need a
Yes, we have, in
tournament
fact, not had a beach
episode,
episode.
arc too.
Yeah, we haven't had a beach episode.
Yeah, the fan service is. We're lacking in the fan service.
Fan service is
All
lacking.
right.
Well, I guess we had a lakeside episode because I do recall like way back when I originally joined, like Raimi casually / uncasually trying to like flirt with audience from a distance by slow bathing himself in the lake.
Yeah. No. There was a lake episode. So it's beach adjacent.
Yeah.
All right. Well, with all of this rummaging around in your mind, you all fall asleep. Jorg, I don't know. I don't want to be mean, but Jorg, do you want to say anything? Is there anything that goes through Jorg's mind as he's falling asleep?
You can hear him talking to Frill. He's like, "Oh, so he was a kid." He just thought he was.
He was a kid. He was a baby bird.
He was out of the loop there.
You know, miniature Kenkus aren't actually pigeon. They're kid Kenku.
They're Kijins.
Oh,
Pigeon.
don't say this to George. He's gonna start saying that the baby Kenkus are kitchens.
No, George's just used to being able to change size. So, from other perspectives, it's just like. Actually, he's not used to that.
Okay. All right. So
He's just trying to think of excuses for being a dick.
it's okay. I recognize the effort. All right.
And now, how do the dog and the cat interact?
Well, let's not spend the next hour saying how everything went for everyone, even the pets and so on. How did Terranad go? How did Terry go?
Yeah, I was actually curious about that.
Oh no, it's pretty simple for the cat and dog situation. The cat goes nowhere near the dog, and the dog is indifferent.
No, the dog is just happy to be near Jorg. That's it. That's the whole thing of dogs.
Yeah.
There's no one better in the world than their owner. It's just a fact of life for them.
All right, let's capture this guy.
All right. So you all fall asleep.
All right.
And Fisher, you get to see the hours of the night go by one, and you get a whole lot of time talking to Terranad, which underlines everywhere that you could have possibly went and questioned that you could have possibly asked. And he justifies this by saying, no. You said you wanted me to give you space to show your things. That's what I did. And so you keep on arguing with him with this, and then eventually, well, you don't see the sun coming up. You know that it's morning because audience starts stirring and waking up. You know, the man's so regular. The guy's so regular. You can set a clock with him.
Prepare the spell.
Yeah. All right. You all wake up. No, you don't get any dreams. You don't get any visit from gods in your sleep. It's not the right time.
You don't time travel.
No time travel.
All right. So, you wake up. Oh, Sam, are you sponsoring Secret Labs?
Yes. Yes, I am.
The placement of the name was so perfectly in the middle of the screen.
Go spend $600 on a chair, guys. It's worth it.
Oh, God.
Well, I'd like to argue, but mine also probably cost that. I don't know. I got it from as a present, the only present of that Christmas. And now it's so old that it's creaking and it's slightly tilting to one side. So you wake up in the morning. You are greeted by audience who set the pace for everyone waking up. Remy, your lantern is still giving light, and you don't know why, but you feel so grateful for it. You knew it was still going to be giving off light when you woke up, but you just feel so grateful for it.
There's a sense we're still in a dark, damp cave.
Yeah. The darkness being beaten back by the light, as it should be. So, Jorg.
Kingdom Hearts music starts playing.
Jorg comes back. Well, sheepishly comes back to the group, as in you transform yourself into a sheep, right?
Beep beep, I'm a sheep, motherfucker.
All right, George. Before you go through the wall, I gotta put silk on your talon, ankle, claw.
Yes.
Well, he's got to cast.
Whatever. First, I gotta cast the put on whatever you want.
Remy telepathic.
Yeah. So we go telepathic. Let's find investiture of stone. Gives me up to 10 minutes. Okay. So it's the
yeah, but you gotta end your round of movement outside of stone.
Yeah.
Oh, so I gotta do it in.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why it was so important
seconds.
that you be able to dash quickly enough to
200 feet.
Yeah, you gotta travel 200 feet, and I believe we had established that you were able to go 220 feet, so you do not have a large margin for error.
Although, I will. One thing before we start trying this that I thought about.
Yeah.
Pitching to going into my head to everybody else in the group. We could use Terry to get some more info about the Predator from my memories that might help us question this guy.
We could.
Right now, or
what do you
how
guys...
confident are we on this that this guy is gonna like survive air forever, or should we go check on him?
Well, that's why the longer you wait, the likelier it is that he's gonna die from lack of oxygen, because he's in a risk. You know that both ends of this corridor are blocked. You don't know how tight the blockage is, so he might only have a few hundred feet of tunnels and a large room of oxygen. There is a slight chance that he is already dead from...
All right, let's hurry and get him first.
Actually, you know what? Excellent point. Perhaps air bubble might be appropriate before we go into this cave that has been sealed up, and probably this guy's been breathing the oxygen in there for at least a couple days.
Can he do air bubble though? Because concentration.
Air bubble is a non-concentration spell.
Oh.
So air bubble, bird, go through the stone.
I had an interest. How fast does the catapult spell make you go?
You can only target objects.
Damn.
And it makes you go. Also, it makes you go, I guess, 90 feet in 6 seconds.
Oh, 90 feet. All right, that's not good enough.
That's the range it flings.
They did, in fact, think about this.
Let's go. All right, hurry up, George. We got to make sure this guy's not dead.
Nobody would prepare Misty Step because they could just launch their owl. Or Vortex Warp, for that matter.
People have, in fact, thought about this one.
All right.
Yeah.
Here, let's get her done.
All right.
I tie my silk around his leg.
All right, you tie your silk around his leg. He casts Investiture of Stone.
Investiture of Stone.
Exactly. You become invested with stones.
Yep. Yeah,
Then
my
you cast
portfolio
your
is
air
full of
bubble.
stone.
My portfolio
Air bubble.
is full of stone.
And then air bubble, and I fly up a little ways.
And then you transform into a bird. You
As
give...
a hawk. I give a bird wing salute.
Isn't that
and I
Remy's
will-
thing?
Maybe.
You know, for some reason, the record button is on.
Who's the bird now,
Literally mocking Remy by saluting as the thing he can't do. That's crazy.
Hey, I didn't mean to do that.
Well, you did.
That's
Oh no.
wild.
All right, get in
All
there,
right.
Jorg.
All right, I'm gonna gun it. I'm flapping as hard as I can, booking it into the stone.
I guess I will have my helm of teleportation at the ready.
All right. So
Oh, do we have
Yeah,
air
make
bubble?
sure.
we're psychically connected, right? Yeah, and I've got an air bubble.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, and we have air bubble. Okay.
all right. So Jorg,
And-
here's the thing. You gotta orient yourself in a tunnel that slightly curves. So
Yeah.
we're gonna go with survival.
Survival. All right.
Don't have a high margin for error.
All right.
It is important to remember that if you do end your turn inside of rock, you get shunted to the nearest available space without taking any damage.
Which could be
I'm
the
going
room
to
that
say-
you want to be, but could also be a closed off
Some
cave
weird
inside
hollow
of the
where you
mountain.
get stuck in the middle of nowhere. Yeah.
I
Some gas
I
bubble.
Did you have like
rolled-
blessed yourself before you went through?
I don't think I
Guidance
can
plus
because I'm
concentration.
concentrating. I on the die on the screen it looked like a 14. It said a 6, but whatever. So I guess I got a 10. Going into the rock.
All right. So, you got a grand total of 14, is that it?
I got a grand total of 10.
I don't know. Would it have been worth it?
Enhance ability.
If it's sure to, yes, enhanceability.
Enhance your
How's that?
ability now.
You probably should enhance ability.
Have the wisdom of a different bird. A slower bird, but it's more wise than... There you go.
Oh, do I have to use the wisdom of the
no,
the
because
hawk?
it's your
Keep
uh,
your wisdom.
because it's your druidic
Okay, cool.
ability,
That's not
it's
bad.
your wisdom.
Yeah.
All right, so
What does
If it's
enhance
for
ability
polymorph,
do?
it'd be a different story.
It
Uh-huh.
gives you advantage on the wisdom check.
you get advantage. So
Ooh, here I go. Oh, that's better. At 21.
oh,
Okay.
Eh.
I thought I was like getting discombobulated from all these twists or the turn in the tunnel and it's rocks everywhere. But
Well, there's the
Something,
thing. It's because this entire blocked area, it's hard to distinguish it from the actual stone of the mountain. So what you just see this hawk taking a little bit of room and just going right through the rock. And there's this moment of, okay.
Oh, important part. As he goes through the rock, Raimi makes absolutely certain to make a splat noise for the recording.
So you just see him go, but thankfully,
And then
because of
Raimi
the
shuts his
telepathic
eyes.
bond, you know he didn't actually splat. So
He minor
Raimi made the
illusion,
splat
just like a
noise and
blood
closed his
splatter.
eyes for gnome tube.
yeah, Remy minor illusion, the bird exploding as like the game Lemming. So you just see him go through, and the only way you know that this hasn't gone horribly wrong is because of the telepathic link that you get to see and feel Jorg's anxiety rising as the seconds are moving forward, and he's just flying through solid rock. 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, you know that it's right at the edge. So 4 seconds, 5 seconds, and just as you're arriving at 6 seconds, you're just about to think, oh God, I'm not gonna... You just come out, and you're there.
Mm-hmm.
You can't see shit because there's no light in here. But it doesn't look like stone.
All right. I pop out.
All right. I turn out of a bird.
Audience,
unbird
you get
myself.
your confirmation that he's okay. Because there is a small visual element that's different from going through stone than just pitch black darkness. That's a bit redundant what I just said, but anyway.
Yeah, I disappear. I go through my silk
All right.
and pop up.
So you all get to see... Oh, this is so weird for you, Tobiashi, because you disappear and you reappear and you see yourself reappearing from Jorg's point of view as you're reappearing. So...
It's just like a never-ending like mirror. I'm just like, no.
Audience, did you teleport everyone?
If I could see the room and I feel like the room is safe.
Well, you can't see the room. You don't have
I'll light
confirmation
it.
everything is safe because no one thought
I'll
about
light a
fire.
torch. I will light a torch.
Ah,
Okay,
Can
screw
Raimi
it.
just like
that's what air bubbles for.
imagine
Well,
monsters in
can Jorg see the room?
George doesn't have darkness.
I don't know if I can teleport.
Oh wait,
if
no,
Jorg
I have a
doesn't-
lantern. I'm gonna light my lantern.
No,
then.
if I can't see the room, I still can't teleport.
I'll pull out my tiny blob in a jar, so you can also, once the lantern's lit, you can see if we're in danger too.
You have to create light, Jorg. I cannot teleport us until you create light.
You take the tiny blob in a
but-
jar and you put it at the height of where your eyes should be,
Wait,
but
if
you
we're
can't
all-
see.
If we're all
Toby
connected,
was saying
you can
he
see through
lights
my
his-
eyes too. I light my lantern.
Yeah, but Toby, you're
Oh.
with me.
Oh.
No,
No,
I went through my
No, he
silk.
teleported.
He uses
Oh, he teleported.
silks.
Okay,
Yeah.
and Toby lights the lantern. Can I see the room?
Yes, but I
It
was
would be cool if you
also going
lit the
to say,
lantern and looked at it and the light shined out of my
Tobiashi,
eyes.
didn't we say that you had a very limited tremor sense?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So because
Very limited.
Tobiashi is linked with the bond to Jorg, you have confirmation as soon as you arrive that there is at least a small area around where Jorg is that is safe.
Okay, then I will teleport the rest of us.
You teleport just and you reappear.
Amy is gripping Fisher tightly.
And you don't know why, but in your mind it just says, "Don't drop the lantern. Don't drop the lantern. Don't drop the lantern."
Mhm.
In
All
the
right,
voice of a young
we're all
woman.
here. Where's this dude?
You reappear
We're gonna go
in
forward.
this room, and light just fills it all suddenly. What's the description of air bubble?
Air bubble. Oops, I'm not on spells. Air
In what
bubble.
book? In what book is it?
It was originally from. I
Oh,
always forget the name of this book.
Well, that's why I don't have
Yes,
that.
it's I create a spectral globe of air around the head of a willing
Okay, that's what I wanted to know.
person. So I have to cast it for everybody,
All right, that's what I wanted.
or
to know.
everybody just has to stick their head in my air bubble and share it with me.
I don't think that's how it works.
I don't think
Okay,
that's how it
fine.
works. What level is it?
Second.
It's a
So you have
second
to
level
cast
spell.
it for every person? So that would be...
Well,
Well,
not
we-
Fisher.
Don't.
Oh, no.
You're assuming there is no oxygen currently.
Oh yeah.
I would have known as soon as I went through because I don't think it got cast on me.
Well, how
Yeah.
does you can only cast it on one person at a time?
You can upcast it
It's not.
to add an additional creature. So, for example, if you cast it at third level, you can target 2 creatures instead of 1.
Oh, it's spell.
So yeah,
Also, it's
essentially,
not
if it's a
concentration.
second level spell, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you can include 5 people if you burn a sixth level spell.
I would not.
I don't think he has an
sixth
extra.
level
I think he needed.
No, I used my
Well, the-
6th level for the investiture.
Well, the only people who need
I
it,
could use a
well,
4th
in
level.
a no air environment would be Jorg, Raimi, and audience. Everybody else doesn't need to breathe.
And you.
Oh, I guess
Toby
technically
doesn't-
Terry.
Oh no, Toby doesn't need to breathe either. Well, Terry can stay in his box.
Toby actually does need to breathe, but he
Terry's
breathes
small.
through his skin.
Yeah, I just breathe through everywhere. So I'll be taking up the
Oh.
rest of the air in the cave.
Mhm.
All right. Anyway, did we cast it on those 4, or are we just assuming there's air?
Well,
Uh,
I just want to know.
I'll
Okay,
cast
so
it on-
Jorg,
on
if you
them,
cast
just
it
in
at
case.
level 5, it creates a bubble for everyone. Or you can cast it separately. Or you can just forget someone
I'll
completely.
Well, so it's I'll cast it at. I've already cast it once on myself at a 2nd level. So then if I do a level 4, I can cast it on the others because it's not concentration, so I can cast it multiple times.
Yeah.
Okay, as
Yes,
they're arriving.
that is true.
All right.
So I'll do a level 4 on everybody else as they get
Okay.
here.
So you all materialize in there, and since you don't have a air bubble on you, Jorg is the one doing this. There's a brief moment where you're stuck breathing whatever is left of oxygen in this room, and the moment you
Is there oxygen?
the air is extremely thin.
You wouldn't know.
It only takes a few moments before you start feeling lightheaded. If it's possible, he's
okay.
still alive, but if he is, he's probably unconscious right now.
Well, that works
Run!
well for us.
Let's go get him.
Okay, we'll grab him and try and get him out of there quickly.
Yeah, I start dashing to the end of the room.
Well, we know we just have to get him. It's okay. He'll be unconscious somewhere.
All right.
Hypoxic brain injuries happen fast.
Oh, don't
Well,
worry.
if the air was thin, he's not like actually no air. But
But still, hypoxia can affect him.
yeah, it could.
Yeah.
But
Just low amounts of oxygen.
So,
So I shouldn't have my kitchen stove on all the time. No, I'm kidding.
so we find him. So is he in here?
Yeah,
go
we start
look.
moving down.
all right.
Looking for him.
Investigation.
I will also use Terranad to cast light.
Okay.
I mean, I have my base. My base will just give us massive amounts
Yeah.
of light.
All right. So we have Remy's lantern, Audience's mace, Fisher's light. So basically, you got everything. Everything just lights up in there. It's a very radiant, very powerful glow. You get to see the tunnel, and you start walking through the tunnel. There are a few stones that have fallen in your path. You get the impression that in one or two places, maybe the ceiling is not that stable, but everything is holding. Keep on moving. You eventually get to the room where you're supposed to be near there. You get inside the room and you look around, and at first it doesn't seem like there's anyone, but if Remy wants to make a perception roll.
Well, there's plenty of light now, so
Yeah.
I'll aid him.
You eat.
Aid.
Oh, okay, aid. All right.
Okie doke. Yeah, so. All right, Toby actually did make it better. It's now a 27.
Yay!
Nice.
Woo!
All right. So you start looking around. It takes a moment. You find what was probably an attempt at making a fire, but fortunately the fire did not take. But wood from a table was broken down and put into a pile, but there was no attempt at creating a fire. It just seems like someone had the bright idea and someone else decided, no, finally it's not a bright idea. But that's your first clue of, oh shit, there's another person in here. You keep moving forward. And right as you're exiting the door, the room, right on the other side of the door, you see two persons unconscious. One has the clothing of your temple and you recognize as one of the missing person. The other one is the cultist, not the cultist, the crew of the predator, the crewmate of the predator that is slumped over in the corridor. He is breathing extremely. His breathing is extremely shallow. You get the feeling that he probably has a very blurry vision right now. As you're arriving, you just get close to him and you immediately recognize the.
Alright. Well, I guess I'm gonna teleport them. Where do we want to teleport back out to? Just the main
Let's just go main square of the monastery.
Main square of the monastery.
Wait, okay. No. We told the ship we were gonna be back at the entrance in the morning.
Well, we can.
I feel like this is a separate
contact
thing.
them. Yeah.
All right.
Hey, we can also just teleport onto the ship.
Yeah, let's teleport on the ship.
Well, we don't know where the ship is.
No, but you know.
I know where
room...
the corridor is.
Yeah, but you know which room you want to be on the ship, so.
Will me healing him help, or is it hypoxic brain injury?
Well, let's get him out of. Let's just
go to the monastery. We'll go to the monastery.
Okay, I'm just gonna teleport them both to the main area of the monastery, and the rest of us.
Infirmary.
I'm not gonna leave someone behind.
Yeah.
Infirmary.
Damn.
All right. Mm-hmm. It's 8 people in total, I think. Oh, all right, so you got 7 people. All right, you focus and you teleport back to the monastery. Which room in the monastery?
Just in the main courtyard of the monastery. Oh. I didn't go to a room. We just appeared.
Find out that the monastery is under attack again.
Damn it! All right.
I just cleaned this place.
No, just the main courtyard. We're just appearing in the middle of everybody.
You know, it's a small area that's completely open to the outside. It was dug inside of the mountain. There's a bit of room on top where the courtyard extends a little bit outward, but half of it is still inside of the rock. You're used to it. It's a beautiful garden. There's a very interesting tree that grows there. Actually, they're all bonsai type trees. Sorry, because they don't have a lot of ground to dig into. But it's a beautiful courtyard. All of the trees have been arranged in a way that feels like a very beautiful small park. You spent a whole lot of time in there, and actually the first time that you saw the garden, you had a moment where it's like, oh man, that just looks like a better version of what I went through. Oh, God damn it. The arboretum of the garden. So it just suddenly appears there. A few people are surprised around you, but you have one good surprise, you have one bad surprise, and the last one is not a surprise. He's just a person that got surprised by you arriving.
Hey, take him to the infirmary. I hand him the person from our monastery.
So the good surprise is The healer is there. Forgot her name. Hold on.
Oh, that works. We don't need to go to the infirmary then.
Hold on.
Yippee!
Yeah, she's family. Here it is.
I just turned to Toby. I'll be like, I knew she was here. That's why I teleported here.
All right.
So, Nayoko, the priest, suddenly is there taking advantage of the garden of the morning. You know that she often. Nayoko is often there, taking advantage of, especially in the morning when the sun rises, and she lingers there for a few moments. I keep saying she because audience said she, but I don't remember if I said she before.
Man.
Okay, man. All right.
They're all she's and audience.
They're all she.
They all have long hair, aren't they? All women. All right. So. There. Oh, good. You're all back. We were a bit worried. Oh, goodness. And his attention immediately goes to the temple member who is unconscious, not reacting to all of this. And he gets up. He starts going toward the temple member. And the bad surprise is the moment that you arrive and you see Nayoko going toward the temple member who is injured, you hear Neisa's voice inside of this little garden say, "Oh goody, you brought me a gift."
Nope, we got a question. We got to question the gift.
I instantly tie up the Hunter cult member.
I'm gonna let someone else stand up to me, so I'm not gonna do that. You guys all do that. I don't think that would discourage her.
What do you mean by gift?
You are free to help with the interrogation.
We have to go into his mind first with this mind worm. Terry.
Brainworm.
Brainworm.
Bad description.
Now, isn't it a good thing that Terry didn't understand a single word that Toby actually just said?
He just saw me pointing at him.
She looks at all of you and says, "Oh, don't worry. He'll talk." She takes one ring out of a pouch that she has on her. "Just leave it to me."
Wait, can I get some hits? He brought this on to all these kids. They were gonna enslave my temple. I kind of want to beat him up.
Oh, you will have the chance to.
Yes.
Is this guy awake? Or is he still unconscious?
He is barely awake. He is slowly starting to stir, but he was unconscious and nearly dead from the lack of oxygen. So right now,
okay, I'm gonna use 5 points of lay on hands on him while he's here to help speed along this process.
Just before you touch him, you hear Neisa go, "Oh, don't worry about this. This is what my gift is for. It's probably better if it happens before he wakes up."
Hey, let's
okay.
Not.
No, I start dragging him towards her.
No, hey, I don't like her tone.
Come on,
Toby. We're not trying to torture the man.
Yeah.
Who said anything about torture? She didn't say anything about torture.
I mean, her tone is saying something about torture, but also she said it works better if he hasn't woken up yet. So
I don't know what she's trying to do.
Nasa, how about you tell us what you're planning and stop being all weird about it?
I'm just gonna get some information about him, and he's
not
gonna want to lie. Well, he can if he wants. Oh, just
can we get the information? Though?
Just a little.
Or are you?
She looks at you,
We
Fish.
have it under control.
She looks at you, Fisher, and says, "Oh, just a little trick that I learned in
Okay,
the book."
stop
And
and actually talk to us.
she shows
We've
you a
been
ring.
very friendly with you.
She shows
I would appreciate straightforwardness.
She shows you a ring. It's gonna keep him alive. I'm sure you know
Right.
it. It's a small ring of regeneration.
Okay, look.
Oh.
We have tools like this. A knife that will not kill him. Okay, we
Sure.
don't need your help with
For sure.
interrogations.
I think that's the other way. I think she's been really nice with us. I don't think there's anything we could do if we wanted to.
I mean, there is.
A ring of regeneration will keep this person alive even if he is dissolved in acid.
Yeah, I know.
Sorry.
Okay.
So what? Are you guys a cult too or something?
I'm gonna lean over towards Fisher and be like, Fisher, can we kind of use her as a bad cop, good cop thing? But like, we're also there. Can you suggest that instead of me, so she's more willing to accept the idea?
Yeah.
Wait, if we're gonna do any of this, we have to do it out of the monastery, though.
That's fine, Toby. We'll get there.
Hang
Let's
on.
deal with what's at hand.
Yeah, so we would
Let's not do
love
anything.
your assistance in our interrogation of this guy.
We would love to assist you in your interrogation of this guy.
Oh, good. Let
Would
me
we-
slip that finger on his delicate little hand.
Hang on.
Slip
All
that
right.
finger.
I'm not okay with
Let me take
George.
off his finger.
The ring
George, we're not
doesn't do
gonna
anything
torture
to him.
No, the ring will be
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah,
Okay.
I know. It's what she's gonna do to him.
Well, this is why
we
we're
just
trying to
keep
be.
the
That's
ring
why.
on.
This is why we're trying to be involved, Jorg.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It'll be fine. We got this, Jorg.
Don't worry, I'll
All
take
right.
good care of him. I promise. He will not even
We-
show a scar.
Nope, that's
We'll take
Yeah,
good care of him.
that's not
That's
I'm
what the
concerned
ring
about.
does.
Yeah.
we're not
Stop being
idiots.
weird.
All
Yeah.
right, let's go with her. Let's go with
You're
her.
not-
But what? First of all, do I recognize this dude?
No, you haven't seen him before.
Alright.
But he does sport the image of the predator. It's subtle, but you've learned to recognize this. It's on him. The moment you look on him just a little bit, you know where to look, and that helps a lot.
tied
The
him up.
emblem of the predator has been seared into his skin. It's just hidden, but you know where to look. You find it very easily.
I tie up his ankles and his wrists. And leave it there.
Tobiashi, Neisa tells you, "Oh, that won't be necessary."
Okay, I'm gonna ignore Nate.
It's
So
for
she already
me. It's
doesn't
for
like me, and I'm gonna lay on hands this guy.
Yeah.
So she wakes
I'm
up.
with
I am
you.
gonna just ignore her. If she wants to be mad at me, she's already mad at me. It doesn't change anything.
So while you heal him, she slips on a ring of regeneration on him.
Can we try to attempt to stop her slipping on the ring of regeneration on him?
I don't.
I don't.
I will. I'm with you, audience.
Wow, the Jorg audience team up. I never thought I'd see it. You know what? Fine, it doesn't like me. I'll just be honest with her. I'll be like, listen, Naisa, he is our prisoner. We were the one that captured him. You are welcome to be part of the interrogation, but as of right now, he is our prisoner, and we will interrogate him as we see fit.
Very well.
Cold air.
I'm patient.
Yeah, if we don't get anything from him, you could do whatever you want with him. Actually, I would love to help with what you're doing.
So, audience says this out loud. I'm wondering, does Jorg actually try to hold her before he gets to say this?
Hold her?
You said you want to try and prevent her from giving...
I'm not gonna like physically
I would step
hold
in
her.
front of her. That's a good.
Yeah.
That's always a
Catapult.
good
Wait.
move.
Catapult the ring out of her hand.
Oh.
We don't need to be that aggressive.
I'm not
Just
gonna do
stand
that.
in front of her.
Yeah.
Well,
It also
If I'm-
doesn't work
if
on
I'm-
that.
if I'm misremembering the text, unless I'm misremembering the text, I think you can only target objects that aren't being worn or carried.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
tragic.
stand in front of her.
Yeah. I'll stand. Cause what
You're
level
gonna
is she?
die. She's level 20.
She's not. We're not gonna die. She's not gonna kill us over the fact that we're withholding a prisoner.
Mm-hmm.
So she might be willing to torture. It's like
Yeah.
judging by that ring, but
Yeah.
she won't.
She
kill
might,
you.
but she's not gonna kill other members over the
I
garden.
already
over
told her
that.
not in my monastery, so please.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Please.
I don't
I
think she's
see.
like an evil person.
Yeah.
Well, she's definitely not good.
I don't think she is good. My guess is she's neutral, and my guess is also she's not just gonna kill an entire party of like adventurers over the fact that they stood in front of her on a torture.
So she's an elf. Elves are fundamentally good, although there are a few moments where, especially a note is specifically, that when they take it, the elven society becomes very understanding of anything an elf can do. They are dispense of any responsibility and any duties to the elven people. They consider this to be a note that you do not get in front of. It usually involves revenge of some sort. So she could be good, but right now she's driven by anger and a desire to revenge. So maybe she is neutral, and that would help her a whole lot because she wouldn't have any moral problem with anything she might do. But elves are usually fundamentally good.
She's a revenger.
So I want to
That's
know how
something.
you oppose her. You just stand in front of her because Jorg said,
Yeah.
Can I prevent her from putting the ring on the guy's finger?" So I want to.
But yeah, I'm too scared to actually like touch her, but I'm gonna be like, please don't.
That's a
please don't
wise
do that.
choice. That's a wise choice.
Where, like,
All right, I am.
Jorg stands in front of her. Can you not?
I am patient. Would you at least allow me to give him a little bit of water so he does not die before you get to ask him a question?
yes.
Remy, can you give him some water if that's what he needs?
I'll give him a. Oh, I don't have good.
We have water.
Remy, she takes out of the backpack she has something that you are very well acquainted to. She takes out a decanter of endless water.
Okay, but we could also just use our decanter.
Yes, I know, but will you oppose her directly as she is bending over to give this poor guy water?
Can I roll an
Wait,
insight on her?
He's still unconscious. If you try to give him water now, he's gonna.
Can I roll an insight on her?
Go
As
ahead.
she just tried to give water? I mean, I'm not great at it, but I'll roll it. Oh, I got a nat 20. Okay.
Okay. So what exactly are you trying to figure out by looking at her?
Whether she's trying to hide something from us when she's like offering to give him water, and whether that will basically negatively impact him.
Okay, so you get the impression that it is a half-truth. She is genuinely going to give him some water. She is genuinely going to keep him alive. But it's the whole idea of, is it going to harm him? You get the impression that there's something in what she's going to do that's out of her hands, and she knows it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna let her do that.
Are we physically opposing her now?
Oh no, I'm just gonna casually. I'm not gonna touch her. I'm just gonna casually pick up the guy so she can't give him water.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be like, don't worry, we'll take care of it. Looking her dead in the eyes. Like, I know you're up to something, and I'm not gonna allow it.
Well, the sooner we get into this guy's mind, the sooner we could get this over with, and the sooner we could turn him over.
Oh, well. Of course. I guess
Did
you
this
gotta
guy-
learn by yourself. That is always how younger species work. I'll be in my room when you lose patience.
Hey, audience, can I check that guy really quick?
I'm in the process of trying to make sure this guy's alive. I'll give him to you in a second, Toby.
I just want to check his teeth.
His teeth.
Yeah, what if he has like a cyanide tooth?
The fuck is
Cyanide.
a cyanide?
You mean a poison enchanted hollow tooth?
Yeah.
It's fine. Remy and Toby, yes. If we want to search him for any weapons or any way to harm himself before he wakes up, we should actually do that.
He is tied up, but yeah, if he has some
Yes.
magically enchanted tooth that could kill him, then we might want to take it out.
Let us also check him for any potential trackers or anything else that could be negatively impact us before we actually wake him up.
Yeah, I'll cast Detect Magic and see if anything on him or around him is...
All right. This one is hard. You cast Detect Magic, and initially nothing comes out. And then there is a moment where you God damn it. There is something magical. It's embedded inside of him.
Oh God, he's got a self-destruct button.
Where inside of him?
Where inside of him?
Right between his heart and his left lung.
Cool.
Okay, if we use the knife that heals on its way out, can we dig it out?
Try.
In his
It's time to do
unstable
surgery.
position, that's a little risky.
It's time to do surgery on the grave, guys.
What is the School of Magic?
It is evocation.
All right,
And
he's
it
got
is
a bomb in his
powerful.
chest.
And it is powerful.
Okay, should
All right,
we
let's
give him
take him to
back
the
to
infirmary.
Naisha?
No, let's take him into the infirmary and take it out of him.
No, we have people who are actually quite skilled at healing in here. They can probably get it out. Let's take him to the infirmary.
I have a thought, and I think that's probably why she's expecting us to fail.
Well, yeah, if she puts the ring on him and he explodes, he's just gonna come back to life.
Well, he won't, assuming he doesn't die from whatever the thing actually does, but
I also assume that she's not gonna let us. If she thinks this guy is just gonna blow up and kill everybody, she wouldn't have been so passive of like, "Hey, I'll leave him to you." I think she assumes that whatever it is gonna something that we're not gonna be able to get past, and we're gonna have to go to her for help. Not that like it's gonna kill everybody.
Although I am being on the cautious side when saying it's a bomb in his chest. It is a evocation spell.
Yes, it
It
might
is,
not be a
between his
bomb.
heart
evocation is a
and
powerful
his-
evocation spell.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's bring him to the infirmary and see what we can figure out first.
basically it could very well just be a spell that basically eats him from the inside and keeps him from talking.
Could I
If he says something he shouldn't.
dispel magic on whatever's in him?
It's risky.
Exactly. It is possible. It is an object that has been enchanted, that is embedded in him, but it is a powerful spell, so there will be a roll involved.
There will be a roll, but it is possible to try.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jorg, do you have Dispel Magic prepared?
Yes.
Because you
Get
might
Jorg
be
cast
better
at a
at
higher
it.
level.
That-
Get Jorg
yeah.
cast at a higher level.
He
Yeah.
used his 6th
Also-
level already.
I can go to
Yeah,
a level
but-
5.
Yeah, but I have a third level. He could do it at 5.
All right.
I mean, honestly, if it's going to be a situation where we have to roll anyway,
I feel like we should put the ring on him.
So when I say dispel, when I say powerful, I mean major spell, meaning it's higher than level 5.
yeah, that's why I'm suggesting that you would need to just cast it at level 3 and then just put every protection we can to make sure the roll is as high as we can make it.
Okay,
if we're
let's
going to
bring
make
him.
the
Let's
attempt.
bring him to the doctor first. See if the doctor can actually figure out what's going on inside of him, and then we'll deal with the dispel. Because I also don't want to trigger potentially the safeguard to the object by casting dispel magic and failing.
Yeah.
Let's start.
Actually, if it is a spell, can't we also try casting Identify to see what the spell might be?
You could.
We could. Yeah. I was just thinking about that, and then I forgot. I got sidetracked, and then I forgot.
Okay.
But yeah.
Why don't we start with that?
And I'd rather
Good
do
idea.
it out here where there's not a lot of people, just in
Yeah,
case
that's
it is a
fair.
bomb.
That's fair.
I will attempt to cast Identify on spell that I see.
Okay. All right. You cast Identify. And the spell that comes back into your mind is, it is a contingency spell.
Oh, wonderful.
What does it do?
Well, that's the problem. Contingency does another spell when something happens.
So it's
I
just
don't get any sense of what the contingency is, do I?
No. That's why I was reading the spell to see if they
Uh-huh.
specifically said anything about this.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I can only see the contingency spell, correct?
I say we get help from her.
So the contingency could either be if we try and remove the object, or if we cast a spell magic on it. It's probably not both.
Well,
But-
the only spell... So the only spell is contingency.
Mhm.
That means...
There is a trigger placed on
If-
it that
yeah.
can be vague or very specific. And
Yeah.
that trigger will cause a spell of 5th level or lower to be cast. It can be on him, it can be on anyone outside.
Okay.
It's gonna
Oh.
powerful is the contingency spell itself?
Well, we know it's over level
up there.
5.
It's a 6th level
So we
spell.
know-
Six.
We know it could be quite strong.
No. Yeah.
Would it one-shot this party? Probably not. Could it,
Hey, Naisha, come
Well-
back.
We don't know. See, the
Yeah.
issue with contingency is 6, but you can put anything in it. So it could be a
Yes.
contingency to meteor swarm around
Yeah.
him.
It could be, I guess. to be fair.
Yeah.
Well,
Or
no.
it's
Yeah,
just-
the
again,
maximum
you
level
can
of
use
contingency
to
is
teleport
5.
him somewhere.
Is
And
5?
Naisha might have a dispel
Yeah.
magic that's higher than that.
Well, it's not the dispel magic that matters as much. It's
And she might know more about the Hunter
But
cultist.
probably the contingency is not just dispel magic on a contingency. It would
She
be
has to have a
something
reason to
Yeah,
hate
what-
him
that
so
would- that
hard.
would be- yeah. What
I
do
don't-
you
else.
mean?
Yeah.
she doesn't hate him specifically. I think she hates.
I guess it could be vague, like if someone.
Well,
tampers,
she did
like-
tell us that we're gonna regret not having her help us.
Well, she said we're gonna get frustrated.
Yeah. Her exact word were, she can be patient.
She basically expects us to go to her for help. Now, I'm not
Yeah,
willing to actually
and the
risk
fail.
everything for an ego of like not asking for her help, but we also have to understand that by asking for her help, at that point, we're giving her the empower to interrogate this guy as she wants.
Yeah. Which, yeah.
Which I would rather not immediately do.
Yeah, I don't want to resort to violence or like cruelty if we don't have to.
But did you see what he did to my monastery? Why not? He was literally going to enslave my people.
Because we're supposed to be better than them,
'Cause,
Toby.
yeah, we're better than them. Like we can still
And?
imprison him. We're not.
Like, imprisonment is better than torturing somebody.
I mean, yes.
It is.
They tortured me
Yeah,
for like
we
months.
give him.
Yeah, that's the whole word.
The whole
That's
point
to
is
be
what we're
better.
They're the
saying,
bad
Toby, is we're
guys.
supposed to be better than them.
Yeah.
Do you need a second, Toby? Do you need to take a
Some
walk?
people deserve it. Some people deserve it.
But
I'm
it's
not
on
saying
us to
some people
decide.
don't deserve it, but we're trying to do things better than they are.
Mhm.
Well, Tobiyashi, your master did tell you once before, there are a lot of people that deserve to be dead that are alive, and a lot of people that deserve to be alive that are dead.
Trust me, Toby.
Exactly.
If he didn't
So
have
it's on
information,
you to fix the scales.
if he didn't have any
Yeah.
information we
So
needed,
he should be
I would
dead.
no. If he didn't have any information we needed, I would have no issue killing him. I have issue
Yeah.
torturing him. I have no issue killing him. But
Yeah.
Also, torture.
Oh my god!
is
Why are we putting labels on
unreliable.
things? He's gonna die eventually.
yes,
Well,
but
yeah,
we
no,
want
that's-
the
that's-
information before he dies,
Like,
Toby.
is not getting married being in prison? Like, what are we talking about here?
What are you talking about?
Toby, the whole,
Where are you
Toby, we could have
confused?
left him to die down in the cave, okay? If we wanted him dead,
Well,
we just
we're
would
gonna.
have
Well,
got
okay,
him.
okay. We're gonna get information, but
Yes.
you know, why not? You know, resolve him of his sins by brutally torturing him.
Resolve him of his sins? Where are you going?
Also, Toby, in case you were
Sorry,
unaware,
Toby is actually mad.
Toby, this dude is from the ship that fucking forced me to murder people. I'm also not a huge fan. Torture is unreliable in gaining you information. Torture
He'll tell
causes
us what we
somebody
want to hear.
tell you what you want to hear to make the pain stop. It does not force them to tell the truth.
It's only if you don't torture him enough. Sorry. Anyway.
No.
Nope. That's not how it works.
I don't know.
I appreciate that you hate this dude. I also very much hate this dude.
Yeah. Also, Toby, I know you're worried you're bad because he attacked your monastery. I get it. The whole point of what
I'm
we're
worried
doing
he's
is
gonna
we're trying.
explode in my monastery.
Yeah, we're trying to stop another attack on your monastery. I promise you, I will not risk the lives of your monastery.
Okay. And bringing him into the infirmary where we
To
could
get
explode where all the injured people are. We should take him somewhere else.
We take him.
You know what?
to-
Okay, Toby, fine. But if we're gonna take him somewhere else, we need to get the healer then to go somewhere else with us.
Yeah, I'll go grab her.
Well, she might be tending to the other person from your monastery.
All right. We'll wait.
Well, waiting is another issue because I
Well,
don't
what
know
if he
this guy's
wakes
gonna
up and
wake
like
up.
that's the contingency? Like he just says something and it's the contingency is just like activated once he uses his word.
We
Alright,
can
well,
take him outside of
what
the
if we-
monastery if you're that worried about that, Toby.
I am pretty
go
worried about
into
that.
his mind. We won't have to worry
We
about
could go into his mind
talking.
right now.
Yeah, so let's do that. Well,
If that doesn't
outside of
work,
the
we give
monastery.
him to Naisha. Deal?
Okay, first off, let's just
Mhm.
take him outside the monastery because I do agree that I don't think we should put the monastery at risk.
All right, let's teleport to the base of the monastery.
Nope, I don't want to use. I don't want to use more teleports. We might need those.
Yeah, you
All
only
right,
have one
Already
charge of
used 2
teleportation.
today. One
Yeah.
corpse left.
All
We're
right, we'll
just
take
gonna-
him to the side. We'll take him to the side, like on a cliff somewhere, but not inside the monastery though.
Okay,
Oh, so we're doing the Batman version of this.
we are
Where is he?
Putting the least lives at possible at
All
risk while also trying to get
Well,
information.
Tobiashi, you certainly know many
We could-
different caves that leads on the side of the monastery somewhere, so you'd easily be able to guide your friends.
Yeah, we go to one of those.
To
You could
one
just
place that gives
cast
a very...
reduce on him.
What is
Well, it's a
reduce?
little-
He
gonna
really
do?
wants to cast reduce.
I would like
'Cause
to
then
not
it explodes. It's less damage. It's little.
It's the object inside him. It's not him himself.
There is
But
not an object. Correct me if I'm wrong, DM. There's not an object inside him. It's just there's this belt that was placed.
No,
Oh,
it's an
spell.
object that's been embedded inside of his body.
Okay.
It's lodged between his heart and his left lung. And on that little object, there is a contingency spell.
Yes. So actually, by reducing him, technically, it would put less shielding between us and the spell.
Oh. Oh, but then the object would like explode out of his chest if it doesn't.
What if
trickle
we?
down.
I know. What if we do it inside of like that hut that Remy has? Or no, he has like that dome that we could go into, right?
Oh
Like,
yes,
maybe
we want
magic
to
dome?
lock
way.
ourselves into the explosion.
I believe that
Well,
is
I
a
mean-
one-way thing also.
All right.
Well, spells cannot pass through either, like
Either
like
direction?
in
Oh.
either direction.
Yeah, but Remy still has to be
Oh.
inside.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I would prefer giving ourselves an easy escape route by a potential teleportation away if there's some activation. If we fail what we were trying to
Oh
do.
yeah, and if we all run out of the dome, then Remy's just left in the dome.
Yeah, I think we literally
Okay.
could just go interrogate this guy.
Yeah, we'll do it at the
No, we can use the
cliff
tiny blob
edge
in a jar.
inside a cave.
to like make sure we're not getting too close to the contingency? Maybe like the closer we get, maybe the more it'll jiggle.
That's actually a good idea. That's possible.
All right.
It's like the monitor at the hospital is like beep, beep.
It's our bomb sensor. It'll start jiggling faster the closer we get to setting off the bomb.
Mm-hmm.
All right, here's the plan. I hold him over the cliff edge. If we think
Where
it's about
is
to
he?
go, I'm just
Where
gonna
is
chuck.
he?
I'm just gonna chuck him, and it will.
So we
and
are
hopefully he'll
doing the
fall and
Batman
overnight.
thing.
I think we might be.
all right.
Again,
So
that's assuming it's some kind of, I guess, explosion.
yeah, people
Yeah,
are just
everyone-
assuming he's
Yeah.
going to
It-
blow up.
Yeah, like
Hey,
yeah.
contingency
Batman
could
mask on.
100% be an escape plan. Or
Here
Yeah.
are the other options. It's an escape plan for him, which then
Or
that
it could be a
sucks.
beacon
But he escapes.
to like
Other-
ship.
Yeah,
they
Well, if
know
it's a
where
beat-
we are, so
they
that's
know where
not-
we are. The other thing, it could be like a gate. It could gate in something else.
Wait, they don't know that we're here though. They just know my
Mm.
monastery's here.
I think they probably know we're here at this point. Maybe they don't.
here's the thing.
They know something happened, probably, because they
Yeah.
probably haven't received any word
Yeah.
from.
Mhm.
They had an agent inside of the monastery for a while, so they can probably scry clairvoyance and other spells
yeah.
like this anywhere they want inside of the monastery.
Mhm.
Yeah. My guess is we don't have this huge element of
So,
surprise.
Here's why the decision is hard. Because if it's something that blows up, being inside of the tiny hut is going to be a problem because whoever is left inside, having cast a spell, will blow up with him blowing up. But if it is actually a spell to extract him, then the tiny hut would actually prevent him from being teleported out in some way.
Mm-hmm. Good point.
That is true. But also
And
at
if-
worst, but the worst case scenarios, you have to think about worst case scenario, right?
know.
Hut, someone might die. He teleports out. We lose our prisoner, which is like, damn.
Wait. But
no one's
my,
dead.
I have his hands and feet wrapped up,
Mhm.
so if he teleports out, then someone
You
could
can
cast.
follow.
Someone could cast the telepathic link on me, and then when I'm over there, you guys could teleport to me,
And
which
if it's just
could be
fucking
ultra
right-
dangerous.
Yeah.
Because we're on the ship now with him.
He might not even teleport to the
or
ship. He might just
wherever
teleport
he
into the middle of a hunter encampment. You want to
Yeah,
just go
and
somewhere
then that's
completely
also our
unknown.
last teleport, and we don't
Just,
have a way
just
out.
above table here,
Yeah?
a consideration. It's like, does he actually know he has this in his body?
We don't.
Ooh.
That's a
We
good
don't
question.
know.
Well,
Well,
should go
what
into his
I'm
mind.
suggesting is like if he knows that he has something in his body that, if for example we're talking about teleportation, why didn't he already try to activate it himself?
True.
Mm-hmm.
Because it might
That's
have
a
been a
good point.
condition thing that he couldn't activate. It might have been a conditional thing that someone else has to activate.
It might be like if you're captured, kind of a thing. But yeah, I'd still, I think
That is true,
that's a
though.
good
That
point,
is a
though.
good point.
Yeah.
We also know he got trapped, so he was trying to escape through a cave on his own. So we know that he
wasn't
didn't
on his
have
own.
well, he wasn't on his own, but he didn't have a better way out at that moment.
Yeah.
So we go into his mind while he's sleeping, and check out what we could find.
Mhm.
We could do that. I doubt the condition would be scrying on his mind, to be honest, but
All right. You got to decide because I think Jordan needs to go to sleep and Fisher doesn't want to fall asleep on the wheel while he's driving tomorrow.
I need to sleep too.
Yeah. I think
I am not
we
working,
go into his
but-
mind.
So
And you-
we're not
Oh,
going to
we
do
can
this
use the time
tonight,
bomb.
but I just want to
I know.
know what we're going to
Okay.
do before we end.
all right.
Uh,
I guess we're going into his mind.
All right. You take him to a distant place of the monastery before?
I'm taking him. I'm holding him over a cliff so that I feel like
Okay.
if that is the best way to protect ourselves, if it is. And then I guess Dorg, you're pulling out the blob to see how close we're getting.
Yeah, if it even works like that.
Do you still have that house spell, Remy, or is that like a unfoldable house? What? How did that work?
I have both. I got a new house, and I have access to the spell Lehman's Tiny Hut.
How much damage can the house take from the outside?
It does not have a damage cap.
Oh,
It's a magical object, so essentially
you could
you
just
need
run into
powerful
the house,
magic to destroy
You know.
it.
Yeah.
Frankly,
You know-
it's one of
Just
those
run to the
spells that
house.
really should have gotten like a minor nerf by
Yeah.
having hit points, but
We could do it inside the
still
house.
milk.
we could do it inside the house. We could also do it inside. We could also do it inside my dimensional space, and we might blow up some of our stuff. But I think it's been mostly cleared out.
Yeah, it has.
There's a bomb in there.
There is a bomb in there.
We could take out the bomb.
Take the bomb out.
We could take the bomb out and do it in there with the door open, so that he'd just be in a different realm if he blew up, which then
And then
wouldn't-
you just close
Or-
it. You just
and
close
he
it on
wouldn't
him?
be able to be, and he would be able to be teleported out if we have him in my dimensional space.
That sounds good. I think that works.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
And the dimensional space is over the cliff.
You guys can't see it, but I still have my hand over my forehead, Picard style. Like, I don't know
Well-
how, but the bomb somehow managed to enter the conversation again.
We'll take
Well,
the bomb
bomb
out.
To
is
be
always
fair,
an
that was a
option.
precaution around the bomb. That was us taking the bomb
Yes.
safely out of
Out of
the,
the, out of the situation.
out of
Immediately
the
try to think of a
situation
way to
Yeah.
use
instead
it
of
in this
the
situation.
situation.
All right.
We have a
So,
bomb. If you don't tell us what you're doing, we're gonna blow up.
yeah,
The
bomb
rocket
Actually, we
is
should not
out.
tell him we have a bomb in case we need it against the
the ship.
Well,
ship.
we wouldn't tell him we have a bomb. We just take
Well,
it out
okay,
of the space.
Enough with the bomb. We're taking
Yeah.
it out of the space.
Yeah, I know. Okay,
Doing
enough
the
bomb.
interrogation.
Yeah.
We have a,
Okay,
we have
so
a
this is-
first. Tobiyashi saying enough with the bomb?
No.
I don't think he's ever said that before.
The bomb.
The bomb
Finally,
is for
some
the ship or
solidarity with
somebody
your
else.
husband.
yeah.
All right, the bomb
gotta
is
agree on
removed.
something.
He's
It will
in
be
our
used
my dimensional
eventually, though.
space. Are we getting started?
All right.
Honor when we come back.
Yes.
Next
So when
episode.
we get back,
yes.
okay, but that's our
Next
set.
time.
That's our setup we have.
For some reason, we all freeze for a
Mhm.
week in place.
That is the setup we have.
So yeah, you take everything you can. You know, the space had been cleaned out and replaced. So you had your audience, you had your money that was in one place, and there was the earthen flower that was there on a desk, and anything else you wanted to add. All of your weapons were placed in a separate.
Yeah.
Yeah, Remy could pull out his house and we could put it in there for now.
What?
Safe storage.
No, I mean, why are we playing our house to put in the place that we're just interrogating? Never mind. It's okay.
The house doesn't fit
Actually,
inside.
you know what?
of
No,
dimension
you know what?
storage.
I have the perfect place to put the bomb that I think at least most people be satisfied with. Raimi is going to put it in the orb of holding.
Okay, that works.
Damn, I was gonna pocket it.
That works.
Yeah, you put your hand inside there to give it. You hear the voice of the butler saying,
Oh god.
"Oh, what is it?"
Wait, isn't this butler crazy?
Yes, he spent 1,500 years.
Never mind. We won't
Alone.
worry about that right now.
It's a bomb in a crazy butler's hands. Who cares? That's worse than me and Jorg having the bomb.
So, Remy, you put it inside of the space. You hear the butler say, "Oh, what is it?"
You can't cast ice spells.
Did you answer?
It's a giant.
I'm not sure if you heard it, but like Raimi gives the.
Aw. You want to shush him? Well, you're the only one who can hear him. He does it when he talks. You're the only one who can hear him talk. So
It's a giant Pez. I always imagine it looking like a giant blue Pez.
Whoa.
why don't you want to tell me? I have to know where I have to know where it's supposed to go. It is very important that everything is classified according to the characteristic of what was I saying again? It's blue. We're gonna put it with blue things. I don't have any blue things. We're gonna make a space for blue things. Give me the blue things. Did you hand it to your butler?
I do hand it to the butler. At least I know where it's stored.
Okay. He takes
Since
it.
there's apparently only one blue thing in there.
Wait, how do you know what he knows what blue looks like?
He called that blue.
All right.
But it is blue.
He takes the bomb and stores it with the blue things.
He's colorblind.
And I rolled. Don't worry, he doesn't bite you. All right. So the bomb is safe in another dimensional space with a crazy butler. And so
Randomly
I
in
mean,
a
worst
fight.
thing that can happen is that the butler blows himself up with the bomb.
all right, so
Alright.
you open the audience's dimensional space. You put the guy at the end inside of there. Do you take the earthen flower
We
out?
remove anything of value that we don't want to lose from the dimensional space. I want to state that clearly before
Okay,
we start
okay,
this
good,
process.
good. So you clear out the dimensional space. You.
Ooh.
Yes. What?
So like, the other important part is that specifically since with the whole air bubble situation, you can actually like close the space inside so that if it actually is a teleport, then
Yeah, you
Well,
leave
I
Fisher
don't
in
think-
there. he does the interrogation. He doesn't need it.
I don't think they should be able to teleport him even if the door is open, because we saw that the spaces, even with the door open, it is like a separate space, which I think would affect teleportation out.
It's debatable.
okay, I couldn't
You're
remember
unsure.
the entryway rules.
Well, here's the thing. You've never actually asked, and there were no circumstances during which you could have teleported while the door was open, but it's debatable because technically he is inside of another space, but it intersects with your world while you open it. So it's debatable.
Technically,
the
we
air
can cut
bubble
off
is
the
good.
teleport by closing the door, though,
Yes.
if it's trying to take time to teleport.
Oh wait, sorry. I have one more idea, and it's a little funny.
Okay.
We put the layman's tiny hut's barrier way in front of the doorway, so that essentially it would block anything that would try to leave anyway.
Wait, no, but that's actually what if we actually put the layman's tiny hut in here, and then if it is a bomb, we step into the layman's tiny hut and leave him inside. So then we're doing two dimensional space inside each other can cause a reaction.
It's
Also-
not a dimensional space. Layman's
Oh.
tiny hut is not a
Well,
dimensional
the
space.
layman's tiny hut. Well, the layman's tiny hut is it invulnerable to damage? I forget.
It is invulnerable to damage.
Yeah, that's actually
we need Remy's telekinesis though, right?
no. We could set up the Lehman's tiny hut inside of my dimensional space and then use it as a shield against a bomb if a bomb went off.
The dimensional space is 10 feet by 10 feet.
What's the hut?
Yeah, we just put it at the entrance so we could run into it.
I think the dimensional space is 20 feet wide. So it's
I'm
a
gonna
radius
get out
of
of
10
here.
feet.
All right, I'll see you, Joy.
Yeah, good night.
Yeah, don't worry about it. They're
let's
just
end.
arguing about how they're gonna end this, and as soon as they finish arguing, we're gonna actually end this. So it's okay.
Sounds good. I trust you guys.
Okay.
All right, we put
Except
Jorg
on
in there
the subject
alone. I'm kidding.
Can't say he trusted us.
All right. Well, he thinks that Remy is part of the cult now, so.
Great torture plan. We have Jorg make a murder of crows to peck out this guy's eyeballs.
I want to be honest. I think if we want to torture this guy, we just give him to the elf. I think she can do a lot more than anything we can do.
How do you know she's not going to follow us down here?
She can. I don't care. Honestly, if she was nearby, it might be helpful.
She said she was gonna wait for you in a room.
She did also say she was going to wait for us in her
You
room.
know exactly
Should
where
we-
she is, and she's expecting you to go to see her when you get bored of your attempt failing.
Yeah, she thinks we're going to fail.
All right, that's it. I got to go to bed.
Okay. We'll finish off. I think we have the details pretty set. I think we're
Okay,
fine.
we just have to figure out what goes inside of what. We might end up putting the dimensional space inside of Liamon's tiny hut. That's better space.
That would make more sense.
Yeah.
And then we step. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
And Rainy would just need to be on the other side of the doorway so that
Yeah.
Yeah.
The explosion would be funneled in one direction, so if Remy is inside of the hut behind the door, he doesn't get blown up. If he gets blown up, and the rest of the monastery doesn't get affected because
Someone's holding the ooze. Terry's doing his thing. We all have our places.
All right.
Someone's not the ooze. Sorry, someone's holding the blob.
All right. Good. Now that that's been settled, we can end the episode.
question mark.
Oh, wow, that's going to be interesting. All right. So,
No, wait. Whole new plan.
Let's
So
break this
Jorg
down,
is-
guys. I got an option A, B, and C. Let's go through all
So
of them. real
Jorg
quick.
is confused when he comes back.
no, that's okay. You're infamous for doing this. Let's do plan A. Oh, we're going to do a plan B and then go with plan C, which is called improvising.
It's like
We've just skipped making
That's
the
every
plan
time.
B and C at this point.
oh, yeah, Jorg comes in and it's just like, all right, Jorg, are you ready to seduce this man?
He's hanging from his feet on the ceiling.
So what we've learned about this guy is he's actually deeply turned on by druids specifically.
But you have
need you to
to say
seduce him.
shapeshift.
All
You
right.
have to shapeshift.
So, with this, we have a plan, sorta. We know what we're gonna do, kinda. And we have a backup, which is called calling Naisa.
Or seducing him.
Or seduce.
Yeah, where's the bard when you need him?
I'm not throwing away the Jorg seduces him plan.
Okay.
So interesting. So much
He
interesting.
dances like a snake.
All right. So, with this, thank you for being here tonight. Thank you for witnessing this weird episode. You know, we had story elements mixed with how do we torture someone without torturing someone to get information. That's an odd combination, but that's also called Dungeons and Dragons, and which is exactly what we wanted. So, thank you for being here. Hope you had a pleasant, whatever part of the day it is, wherever you are. And, well, since we settled the whole thing of following and leaving a like, leaving a comment, donation, I'm not going to say it again. I'm just going to say if you're interested in any of those, it's below the window. And if you can't do any of those, there's a very free thing you can do that helps tremendously, which is spreading the word of this channel. And with this, thank you for being here. Hope you will be there next week, next Wednesday for the live broadcast, next Friday for the rebroadcast. The live broadcast is for Western audience, the rebroadcast for Eastern audience, for scheduling. And if you want to watch me do maps, Thursdays, I will be there, same time as usual. I think we're almost done making the map that we were doing. I think we just need to adjust a few things because it felt barren in some places. So, and that's it. Everything that needed to be said. Thank you for being here. See you next week. And as always, stay safe. Oh, music. I knew I was forgetting something. Stay safe and stay healthy. Good night.
Good night.
Right.